Hi, I'm Nadia Combs, Chair of the Hillsborough County School Board. I want to welcome you to Hillsborough County Public Schools. We serve more than 200,000 students. That includes children in preschool through adults in our workforce program.
I'm Henry Shake Washington, the Board Vice Chair. Our district is the 7th largest in America, and our team is made up of more than 24,000 people working at nearly 250 sites across the county.
Our district is diverse and dedicated. Our board meetings are held in our board auditorium on select Tuesdays at 4 p.m. The best way to serve our students and our community is to involve you, the public, in what we do.
You are welcome to email or meet with any of our board members and follow our district on social media. Board meetings are covered live by Hillsborough Schools TV on Spectrum Cable Channel 635 and Frontier Cable Channel 32.
Meetings are also streamed live on our website at hillsboroughschools.org. Closed captioning is provided on all broadcasts, and past meetings are available in our online archive.
We are interested in what the public has to say. We'll include time for audience comments before we address our business items. Our agenda and any supporting materials can be viewed online in advance. They are posted 7 days before each meeting on our website at hillsboroughschools.org.
Our vision is preparing students for life, and that means all students, every day. Todos los estudiantes, todos los días. Thank you for your interest in education. With your help, we're making decisions that shape our community's future.
The board meeting of November 14, 2023 is called to order. Member Washington will now lead us in a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Please stand for a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Member Washington, will you now please acknowledge our student entertainment?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And boy, we had some great entertainment. I would like to thank the dancers from Orange Grove Miller Magnet School, along with Principal Michael Miranda, dance directors Carla Jimenez and Amanda Roa. These wonderful students entertained us prior to the start of our board meeting. At this time, we would like for them to come up, invite them to come up and introduce themselves. So are y'all ready? Yes. All right, let's go.
Hello, I'm Amanda Arroyo. I'm one of the co-directors of the dance department here at Orange Grove Middle Magnet School.
All right.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Thomas, and I'm in 7th grade.
Hi, I'm Iona George, and I'm in 7th grade.
Good evening. My name is Tamara Hines, and I'm in 7th grade.
Hi, I'm Carly Cordy, and I'm in 7th grade.
Hi, I'm Samita Garcia, and I'm in 7th grade.
Hi, I'm Jade Santana, and I'm in 7th grade.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie Chevalier, and I'm in 8th grade.
Hi, my name is Leilani Edridge, and I'm in 7th grade.
Hi, my name is Shaquila Ross, and I'm in 8th grade.
Hi, my name is Layla Johnson, and I'm in the 8th grade.
Hi, my name is Olivia Manship, and I'm in the 8th grade.
Hi, my name is Addison Broadway, and I'm in the 7th grade.
Hi, my name is Madeline DeBoard, and I'm in the 7th grade.
Hi, my name is Arabella Decker, and I'm in the 7th grade.
Hello, I'm Reese Kennington, and I'm in the 8th grade.
Hi, my name is Zorva Hernandez, and I'm in the 8th grade.
Hello, my name is Melania Capo, and I'm the 7th grade.
Hi, my name is Kendall Akins, and I am in the 8th grade.
Hi, my name is Blake Felder. I'm in 7th grade.
Hello, my name is Carla Jimenez. I'm one of the dance directors at Orange Grove.
Hello, Mike Miranda, proud principal.
Thank you. Let's give him a round of applause for doing a great job. Parents, if you want to take any pictures, you could come up front. Thank you. Let's give it another round of applause. Thank you, ladies. You did a fantastic job. Thank you so much.
What happened? Encore. We have one withdrawn item today. That's 102, Memorandum of Agreement with the Southern Education Foundation for 2023-2024 school year. I need a motion and a second to adopt the agenda. I have a motion by Member Gray. I have a second by Member Vaughn. Any discussion? Please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. Let the record reflect that all board members are present. We have 4 sets of minutes to be approved today: October 17, 2023, school board meeting; November 2nd, 2023, special call board meeting; October 10, 2023, school board workshop; October 24th, 2023, school board workshop. I need a motion and a second to approve the minutes. I have a motion by Member Vaughn. I have a second by Member Gray. Any discussion? Please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. Board members, I'd like to go over the format of today's meeting. As a reminder, we're a nonpartisan board who believe all children can be empowered to learn, to succeed, and our decisions will be made with that understanding. To pave the way for efficient and effective agenda statements and/or questions, board members will have 5 minutes to speak with 30 seconds for final thoughts. Afterward, the superintendent can respond. If you have further questions, you're asked to get back into the queue. Member Washington will now read the board guidelines.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As we begin this afternoon meeting, let me quickly review the format of our school board meetings. Please silence all electronic devices. There are speakers in the room behind me that allow board members to hear the meeting upon stepping away from the dais. This meeting can be viewed with closed captioning on live webcasts, on cable TV, on video monitors here in the auditorium. Also can be viewed with closed caption in the online video archive.
Thank you, Member Washington. We have one item scheduled for time certain, and that's 6 o'clock, and that's employee input. The board member will go to public comment. The board welcomes comments from citizens and values your input to the board. In order to provide the most comprehensive response for your comments, our staff will follow up with you, and will keep our board informed about the responses. Our school board respects the public's right to speak to the board, and we appreciate you taking the time to be here. However, it is requested when you address the board, comments are not directed personally against a board member or staff member, but rather directed at the issues. Any behavior intended to interrupt the orderly conduct of this meeting will not be allowed. Our civility policy is in place. When addressing the board, please state your name and speak clearly into the microphone. This afternoon, each speaker will have 3 minutes. Reminder that your 3 minutes start when you begin speaking. When there are 30 seconds left, you'll see a yellow light on the lectern, a red light, and a chime will indicate when your time is up. I'll call up the first 5 speakers, please, now. Okay.
Mark Clutho, Largo. Well, we just had some elections, and every one of them, the Moms for Stupidity took a whooping. Big time whooping. I think that's probably, says something for the Fuhrer. Here's a headline. The Republicans talk about rebuilding, but not the cause of climate change. It has a picture with Governor Ron DeFuhrer, the 2 senators from Florida, Rick Scott and Marco Polo. Boy, talk about the Stooges. And then here's a headline: stark warnings for the warming planet. UN report spells out dire consequences of climate change. Melting Greenland ice will raise seas. The climate crisis gets worse by the day. Hotter oceans push July to be the Earth's warmest month on record. And then get ready for the climate disasters. And what all these have in common all go to these agenda items. You have this maximum price for the HVAC systems, and what are they going to do? Pump more carbon into the atmosphere and make all these conditions worse. The buildings are just as bad as ever. The situation becomes more dire. It's just, 30 years I've been here with the science of high performance passive solar building, and it just keeps being ignored. Flagrantly ignored. Winston Churchill said, "We shape our buildings thereafter they shape us." And these children that you're supposedly educating, they're going to be living in a hell. It's a shame.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. I want to bring a little update from some of the recent meetings that we've had about the book appeals and the book challenges. And so this morning there was the meeting about blankets, which is the one that I brought the poster showing the content of the book with the 15-page bedroom scene. And by the district, so by the school, it was unanimously approved by the district this morning, 9 votes, no dissenting opinions. It was a unanimous approval to keep that book and to uphold the decision that was made. This Book is Gay was yesterday, and there was a majority vote to keep that book that has instructions for sex hookup app, including, quote, "The benefits are obvious, quick, easy, and uncomplicated sex." I'm not sure that sex for a high school age student, 13, 14-year-old freshman maybe, is ever uncomplicated, and so I think that's worthy of consideration. And are you prepared as a board to deal with the potential repercussions of a kid taking those instructions and potentially hooking up with, I don't know, a pedophile or someone who has malintents? Identical is a book by Ellen Hopkins. It was reviewed at Newsom High School last Monday. There was 0 dissenting opinions. So of the 33 people that have gathered to talk about these books, only 2 people have brought up any sort of different opinion. And then still the majority was for the books. And another thing is, This Book is Gay talks about sex saunas and, quote, "Random sex is fine as long as you're safe." I don't think parents like me and probably many people in this room would agree that random sex is fine as long as you're safe, especially in a sex sauna where there's multiple people that you're encouraged to have sex with at once. The meetings also have only allowed 3 minutes yesterday for them to look at the book challenge that I filed, which is probably 8 pages. And then the other meeting, they had 5 minutes to look at that challenge. They received them there on the spot. So that's a little bit of an issue in my opinion, because I spent a lot of time investing in that and they hardly had time to even look at it. So another thing I'd like to mention is that emails that are sent to the DOE with this content get rejected by their server because of the content in school library books. And I find that a problem. And I also would like to say that schools should not be introducing these topics. This is a parent's right to discuss these types of issues with their own children when they decide that their children are ready for it and it's appropriate for them. And I think that these books are subverting that opportunity for parents to be the ones to do that. Pornography does not belong in schools, period. This has got to end.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good evening. My name is Delma Rodriguez,
Tonight I come to you as President of Council LULAC, the League of United Latin American Citizens Council 7082. I also serve as the Secretary to the Executive State Board. I am here supporting Karen Paris's promotion or position that she will be having. And I also would like to say that it is emotional for me to look at her and see the model that she is going to be serving to all our students, to all our Latinx, Hispanic, Latino students here in Hillsborough County and beyond. We need, and you have heard me speak many times before, of the models that we have to have, people that they can look up to, people that they can respect, people who set the example for our students. I'm looking at this and I'm saying preparing students for life. Absolutely. And that includes all students, without a doubt. The young people that danced out there today and were in this room deserve a lot of applause. They were absolutely fantastic. And they are why LULAC is fighting to make certain that all students get an equal are able to do what all students can do, and that they all have the same opportunity. I thank you for this time. Karen, I know you will do wonders. And again, we in LULAC and in the Latino community support you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. And if I could have the next 4 speakers please line up.
Good afternoon. I'm Peter Horstman. I wanted to begin by congratulating Superintendent Van Ayers on his appointment and congratulating the board on making that decision. A great decision on your part. I didn't come with anything prepared today, but I wanted to say that I do believe that we should have parental rights. We have had parental rights all along. Parental rights is for all parents, not for one parent to decide what's right for all of the thousands of students in our school district. Let's keep that in mind. I know you are keeping that in mind. Our policies for selecting books, putting books on the shelves, are responsible policies based on the students in that particular location. Our students today are facing a world that is so much different than the one that we did when we were young, mostly because of the internet. And just look around you. Children, frankly, they are, of ages 12, 13, 14, are experiencing sex out there. It's everywhere around them. They need that education. They need responsible education that these books provide, as opposed to irresponsible education that they just pick up off the street from somebody, a friend, whatever. And it is the parent's right to decide whether or not their child should read that book or not. Can't deny that. But the book should be available. And I thank you, school board, for making sure that education is broad, because preparing students for life means they need to know everything about what's going on in history and what's going on around them in everyday life. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Andrea Lang, and I'm here in support of the dedication of the Bloomingdale High School Auditorium. I had the privilege of working with Bev Sutherland for over 15 years. The first day I arrived at Burns Middle School as a brand new, fresh out of college teacher, Bev arrived on the scene, and she knew I was her feeder. So she was excited and greeted me with a huge smile and a big handshake, and I knew that I was a part of her family at that time. Her students were also welcomed with the same Mama Suth greeting. The students knew she would do anything for them, but don't cross her, because she would have a pocket full of Altoids waiting for you. If you know, you know. She cared about the whole student before caring about the whole student was the hip thing to do, and her students knew it. I will never forget the outpouring of affections she received at her retirement concert. What an amazing experience, from roses to special songs to a large group of alumni ready to sing her praises. Bev supported the choral department as their choral director for years, the band as the color guard sponsor, spending endless hours on the field during marching season and in the cafeteria during spring. And she was the orchestra director for a short time coming out of retirement to assist them with that. She encompasses all that it means to be an educator and was the life of the Bloomingdale High School music department. I am now the proud choral director at Bloomingdale High School. I can feel Bev there. I find music with her signature on it, indicating it was her director copy. And I see her masterful notes written in her jazz music for the ambassadors. I know that her spirit remains in that music wing. I can only hope that I am making her proud and happy with the music that we make daily. I can hear her making corrections in my ear throughout the day, and I laugh, and then I take her advice. So thank you. Thank you for supporting the dedication of the Bloomingdale High School Sutherland Hall for the Performing Arts to keep her spirit alive in the place that she dedicated her life to. Go Bulls.
Thank you. Next speaker.
My name is Tracy Lisi, and I'm the proud supervisor of elementary music here in Hillsborough County Public Schools. Many moons ago, I interned with Bev Sutherland and Ted Hope at Bloomingdale High School. I was an older intern because not only was I pursuing a college degree that lasted almost 10 years, but I was also trying to make my way in this world as a professional musician. My internship was that last step in getting my degree, and at the time for me, it was just something to fall back on. On my first day of interning during second period, Miss Sutherland turned over her classes to me. Being the rule follower that I am, I opened my USF internship packet and showed her that I was supposed to observe her first for 1 week, and then there would be a gradual release. She took my packet from me and shoved it in a drawer and said, "You don't need to do this right now. You learn best by doing." And so in I went. I learned by planning with her while conducting ensembles, while dancing with the show choir, during meals we shared every day, and after school when we would shoot hoops on the court. We traveled in trains, planes, and buses for a variety of music competitions and would stay on the phone for hours on the weekends. Every one of her classes threw me a party on my last day of internship, something I never would have expected. After graduation, I went to Scandinavia and England to play music for a few months. I remember calling Bev with a prepaid international phone card from a payphone in Norway. Now I'm showing my age. It was July, and I asked her if I should come back and look for a teaching job. She said, "Well, you took the time to call me from a different country at 1 a.m., so I think you know the answer." I got my first job in an elementary school that August, as there were no high school choir openings at the time, and I shocked myself that I could even fall more in love with teaching music. So here I stand 23 years later with my Bev Sutherland Foundation of Inspiration. It would mean so much to me and our music colleagues if you would consider naming the Bloomingdale Auditorium the Sutherland Hall for the Performing Arts, so that her stories can continue to be shared with all. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello. Excuse me. My name is Eliseo Santana, and I want to introduce myself. It's the first time that I'm before you, and I am currently the director for the state of Florida for LULAC. LULAC is the League of United Latin American Citizens. It is the oldest, over 94 years in existence, and the largest membership organization, Hispanic organization in the United States, with over 135,000 members. I'm here before you to represent the state of Florida, which I'm the director of. And I want to say that I want you to be able to look at us at LULAC as a partner in getting our children educated. I am a father of 4 children that have gone through our public school system, and these 4 children have given me 13 grandchildren. And I entrust them in your hands because it is so important for us, especially the Latinos, the Hispanics, to feel that trust, that honor, that sense of well-being that we get from knowing our history, from seeing the dancers that were out there entertaining us. Wasn't that wonderful? Culture is such a delivery of that orgullo that we have inside. And so one of the things that I want to say is that please consider we have many consuls in this county and in the surrounding county that are here for the express purpose of getting our children educated. I want to put a thing that bugged me just a minute ago, and that is that it is so important for our children to learn everything that is about them. It is my responsibility as a father to make sure that they are introduced or that they are given that information that is given to them. But I want you as a school board to allow my children, the children, to learn everything they can. I will then guide them in the process of how it means to me, but by no means censor. Because when you are censoring, you're censoring something that I may see as of value to me. So I have 30 seconds. So wow, what do I say in 30 seconds except to say that thank you, because every one of you ran for office or selected to be here to help our children. Please consider LULAC as a partner in this delivery. Thank you.
Thank you. And that concludes our public comment for today. We will now go to the recognitions and proclamations. AO1, Adoption Proclamation, Native American and Alaskan Native Heritage Month, November 2023. Member Gray will be highlighting this proclamation.
It is my pleasure and honor to share the rationale of the proclamation. Native American and Alaskan Native Heritage Month celebrates the rich and diverse cultures, traditions, and histories of the Native American people. This year's theme is celebrating tribal sovereignty and identity. Hillsborough County Public Schools affirms its commitment to working toward a society that fosters a deeper understanding for the culture and history of the American Indian and Alaskan Native nations in our country. During November, Hillsborough County Public Schools encourages schools to thoughtfully plan culturally sensitive school-wide activities and lessons for students. We will further support and explore the history and cultures of Native American and Alaskan Native people.
Thank you, Member Gray. I need a motion and a second to approve the Native American and Alaskan Native Heritage Month, November 2023. I have a motion by Member Washington. I have a second by Member Gray. Any discussion? Please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. AO2, Adoption of Proclamation, American Education Week, November 13th through the 17th, 2023, and National Education Support Professionals Day, November 15, 2023. Member Hahn will be highlighting this proclamation.
Thank you, Member Combs. American Education Week is recognized November 13th through 17th, and it is a week to celebrate the public education employees who serve our children and communities with care and professionalism. American Education Week raises awareness that everyone, educators, parents, community members, business leaders, elected officials, and our youth have a part to play in supporting education and ensuring that every child receives a quality education. Within American Education Week falls Education Support Professionals Day, which is recognized November 15th. Education support professionals are essential to a safe and healthy learning environment for students. They shape the culture that helps students feel empowered to do their best. In our school district, education support professionals are an integral part of the education and care of our students, and we are grateful for their dedication to our schools and students.
Thank you, Member Hahn. I need a motion and a second to approve American Education Week, November 13th through the 17th, 2023, and National Education Support Professionals Day, November 15th to 2023. I have a motion by Member Perez. I have a second by Member Vaughn. Any discussion? Board members, please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. We will now move into the reorganization of the board, but before we begin, Member Washington has asked to say a few words.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This afternoon, we are recognizing a woman who has led the board for the past 2 years. Ms. Nadia Combs is completing her second consecutive term as chair of Hillsborough County School Board. Mrs. Combs has a passion for early childhood education and has created the Early Learning Task Force for the district. The task force meets regularly to discuss the ways to promote early learning into our schools. Ms. Combs also created a Hispanic Heritage Celebration and Festival, which has become a huge event for our district. The celebration provides our families with resources, information, and entertainment, and this year hundreds of people attended it. Ms. Combs is a dedicated public servant who always put the best interests of the students and staff ahead of everything else. She has navigated this board through very difficult decisions and times and complicated issues. Mrs. Combs is a big part of our community, and we thank her for her service to the Hillsborough County School Board. Can I entertain a motion and ask for the second to adopt the resolution? I have a motion by first by Mrs. Perez and a second by Member Vaughn. Any discussion? Yes.
Thank you, Member Washington. I did have a few remarks. Is it appropriate, Mr. Porter, to say?
Yes, ma'am.
So what I had reflected a little bit more today than usual on chair, being a former chair and being one of the, well, the oldest, not chronologically, because Shake beats me, but one of the oldest board members, at least serving. I just wanted to review some of the qualities. This is over 2 years, and the dedication that you have shown reminds me of the, well, excuse me, folks, but I've run a few marathons, but reminds me of the endurance of marathoning. Nadia, one of the things that I would like to say, and I'm calling you by your first name because this is really a feel-good moment, but a bittersweet. You've always been very fair. You've been fair to all of us through the proclamations. To my chagrin, sometimes I'd rather have another proclamation, but through the recognitions, all throughout the workshops, always being fair. And that's a hard quality dealing with 7 women, except Member Washington. But anyway, you're very dedicated because knowing you and your family, there's been some health challenges. Not that we all don't have some crosses, we all have burdens, but my gosh, you never missed a board meeting, you never missed a workshop, you've never missed an executive session, you've never missed an agenda review, never in all the years that you've served, in 2 years as a chair. And you're always professionally prepared. You come to an agenda reading, a school board meeting, with the data relevant to the matter, but also the heartfelt, relevant remarks that you have studied and investigated and then were able to freely make astute remarks. And I really think that's a high tone and a high amount of marks, pluses for a leader such as yourself. Probably the most important is you've been very student-centered. You're not in this game for what do they call stepping stones. This is a hard position, hard because we have a lot of divisive subjects and territories to cover. But the bottom line is you're there for the students. And how do we know? When I go to your schools, the principals always say, well, Nadi's been there, and they speak very highly of you. And that's a lot of schools, and I've been to probably most of your schools. But more importantly, you're always ready to read a book. You're always ready to celebrate. I don't know how you do it with that energy level, but you're there for those kids, and that's so very important. And I guess most difficultly in how it's done is you've tried in earnest to be collaborative with every board member. You've tried to gain unity, to gain the spirit of a positive culture. You have never isolated one board member versus another. You've tried to have even outreach. And again, even when things got testy, and the public can realize this real quick, divisive issues make board members testy because we have opinions as well. And we're mostly type A personalities on this board, but you've always been able to do an olive branch to bring us together. And I think that's a very powerful statement, a compromiser, staying in the middle of matters that can easily go way left or way right, lickety-split. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, not only as a fellow colleague, but a friend. I'm very much respectful for your service. You've dedicated so much of your life to this district and to this board. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Member Gray. Do we have any other comments?
I'd like to say something. First and foremost, I just want to thank my fellow board members and Superintendent Ayers, you leading this. This is such a difficult job, and Member Gray, I thank you for those words. My face is probably so red because I'm just not used to that. I'm just kind of a worker bee, and that's how I am. But it's been such an honor to be part of this board and work together and work collaboratively together. I feel like we are such a strong board, and we communicate and we work well together. And at the end of the day, when that happens, it helps our students, it helps our district, it helps every employee, and it helps our families. So it is such an honor for me to be in this position, and I am so happy to serve our community. I say this often, like, our students are the most important thing. When you go out in the community and you see things that are happening wrong, or you see violence or problems, sometimes when I see someone, I think, what happened? Did we not catch them? What can we do? And so building a strong school community builds a strong community altogether. So it's been an honor to serve on this board. It's been an honor to serve as chair. And thank you, Member Gray. My face is so red right now. And I also wanted to thank Member Washington, who has been right here alongside such a beautiful person. I've said this from the beginning. I've become a better person by knowing so many of you. And Member Washington, you are one of the kindest, most caring people I've ever met. I do have a little something for you that one of the students from BT Washington, and I think it was amazing. It's
I like his tie, boy. You got a nice tie there.
Because we know Member Washington can dress. But I just want to say thank you, board members. I look forward to whoever leads this board. We all lead together and continue to work together to make sure that our district remains strong and continues to service our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I would also like to add, thank you for your leadership through tough times. We've had some tough times on the board, but through your leadership, we succeeded. We came through, and thank you for that. Please vote when your lights appear. Yes for the resolution. All right, it's 7-0. Excellent. I would like to request that a copy of this resolution be placed in the official minutes. Thank you. Now, I have something for you also, Chair. You thought you would get away with nothing? No, never. I have a dozen of roses for you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Also, since you're leaving, you have your gavel to take with you.
Thank you so much.
We also have the resolution, which is phenomenal for the have. Beautiful resolution. You can see signed by Shake Washington on there too.
And Van Ayers.
That's right, and the superintendent. That's right. And we also have a drawing. Did we drop something? Okay.
A lot of gifts over there.
We also have a drawing from the students. A beautiful one. Wow. Real beautiful. Beautiful. Looks good. You can see that. That's nice.
Tree of Life, Citrus Park.
Citrus Park Elementary, Tree of Life.
Grade 5.
And
Bravo.
And I have something for me to you. Because I know once you get off the board, you might be home crying with nothing to do as a chairperson. So if you ever get sad about not being the chair, here's something for you to put your head on and keep you going.
Love it.
And I want to thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Mr. Washington, if I could say a few words, please.
Yes, sir, please.
Madam Chair, I just want to take this opportunity and thank you for your leadership. Not only, back 2 years ago as a chief officer and now superintendent, just want to thank you for your leadership over the last couple of years and friendship as well. You have been a tremendous leader. This board, I would not trade this board for any board in the world for all the work that we've done and will continue to do together. I just want to thank you for all of that, and thank you again. And I do have something for you, and this is actually, you better give thanks to Member Rendon for this one. So this is a certificate, and this certificate is awarded to Nadia Combs for chairing the longest school board meeting in the history of Hillsborough County Public Schools on October 17th, 2023, and that time was 7 hours and 53 minutes. So thank you. And if we remember, that was Miss Rendon that came through at the last minute to get those last 2 minutes in so we could get that record. But thank you, Chair Combs, for your leadership. Thank you.
Okay, one more.
Well, I just want to make sure that you're thanked as well, Shake Washington, Member Washington. You've been just a solid, stable co-chair and have served us very, very fine, in a fine manner. And I appreciate also your dedication to this district. Again, you go to every workshop, every board meeting. I mean, you are on this board to serve the children. And you've been instrumental in keeping our board not only smiling, but in a very positive way. The board has stuck together. And you're a large part of that. So thank you as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. Vice Chair.
I will now ask Mr. Porter to explain the process for the election of the chair and then turn the meeting over to Superintendent Ayers to conduct the election of the chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair and board members. Board members, under Florida state law, this board is required annually to elect a chair. The state law also provides that you may elect a vice chair, which this board has always done. So today is called the reorganization meeting, where you'll conduct that election of chair and vice chair. The state law requires that the superintendent run the election. So in a moment, he'll be taking nominations from the floor. He'll explain this, but I think a little bit of redundancy doesn't hurt. So in order to nominate someone, you just need to raise your hand and be recognized by the superintendent. Nominations do not require a second like normal votes do. So any one of you can nominate anyone. You're allowed to nominate yourself. All 7 of you are eligible to serve as chair. If more than one person is nominated, you will vote by ballot that Tanya has ready for you with your name on it, on the ballots. Those ballots do become public record. If only one person is nominated, we'll just do a simple motion then to affirm that selection. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to the superintendent who will actually conduct the election for chair.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. So I'm going to go ahead and begin. Board members, the floor is now open for nominations for chair. To be recognized, please raise your hand to make a nomination. Nominations do not need to be seconded. Are there any nominations? Member Vaughn?
Thank you. I nominate Member Perez.
Okay. So I have one nomination for Ms. Karen Perez. Is there any other nominations for chair?
So board member.
Yep. Nominations are now closed.
With nominations closed and only one board member nominated, it would be appropriate at this time to vote without any ballot. We can do a vote for Ms. Perez as chair. So if you could, when your lights come up, if you could vote.
The new chair of the Hillsborough County School Board is Ms. Karen Perez. Congratulations. We will now move on to the vice chair. The floor is now open for nominations for vice chair. To be recognized, please raise your hand to be recognized. Nominations do not need to be seconded. Are there any nominations? Ms. Perez?
I would like to nominate Jessica Vaughn.
I have a nomination for Ms. Jessica Vaughn. Are there any other nominations? Nominations are now closed.
The board members, if the lights come on, it would be appropriate to vote for the vice chair, but Ms. Vaughn has been nominated.
The new vice chair of the Hillsborough County School Board is Ms. Jessica Vaughn. I will now turn the meeting over to Chair Perez.
Now we will take a 15-minute recess to get reorganized and to take new school board photos. The annual meeting of Hillsborough School Board Leasing Corporation for Certificates of Participation Program. At this time, Susan Garcia, Budget and Finance, will introduce Reddish Patel, our bond counsel, with Nabers, Giblin, and Nickerson. I will now recess the school board meeting of Tuesday, November 14, 2023, and convene the annual meeting of the School Board Leasing Corporation and turn the gavel back over to Member Combs.
Thank you. I will now call on Mr. Patel.
Good afternoon. Ritesh Patel, Neighbors, Giblin, and Nickerson, your bond counsel. As you all are probably aware, every year on the school board reorganization dates, you also have to reorganize the leasing corporation pursuant to its bylaws. And so I'm just going to help you with that process. You are going to make three motions or walk through three different items, electing the members of the school board as members of the board of directors of the leasing corporation. You will also elect the chair of the school board and vice chair of the school board as the chair and vice chair of the corporation, and the chair and vice chair as the president and vice president of the board of directors, along with Superintendent Ayers as the secretary of the leasing corporation. So if we just want to take those one by one, I think the first motion that would be appropriate is to appoint the current members of the school board as the board of directors of the corporation.
Thank you, Mr. Patel. I now recommend the appointment of the current members of the school board as the board of the directors of the leasing corporation. Motion was made by Member Washington. A second was made by Member Vaughn. Any discussion? Please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. I now ask for the motion to appoint our new chair as chair and president of the board of directors, and our new vice chair as vice chair and vice president of the board of directors, and Superintendent Van Ayers as the secretary and treasurer of the leasing corporation. Motion made by Member Washington, second made by Member Vaughn. Any discussion? Please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. I now adjourn the School Board Leasing Corporation meeting, reconvene the school board meeting, and turn it back over to our new chair.
I need a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. I have a motion by Member Washington and a second by Member Hahn, excuse me. Please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. The consent agenda has been approved. I now will call on Superintendent Ayers to highlight the administrative appointments.
Thank you very much, Chair Perez. So, board members, we have 4 principal appointments on the consent agenda this evening. And our first appointment is Mr. Colin Girding. Mr. Girding, if you could please stand up. Mr. Girding is the new principal of Randall. Colin began as 26 years of experience as an educator. He taught middle school language arts, high school English, and worked as a department head and dean of students before joining Hillsborough County Public Schools in 2008. He was a teacher at Burns Middle School before his appointment to assistant principal at Wilson Middle School. Colin has served as an assistant principal at Randall Middle School, primarily as the APC for the last 10 years. I'd like to congratulate Mr. Colin Girding, the new principal of Randall Middle, and if his family and friends could also stand as well. Thank you, Mr. Girding, and congratulations. Next principal appointment this evening is Mr. Scott Weaver, the new principal of Adam K-8. Mr. Weaver has worked as a classroom teacher, elementary mathematics coach, teacher trainer, and served as a contributing author for the elementary mathematics textbook series titled Voyages, used by the district in prior years. Mr. Weaver has served as an administrator for 21 and a half years, 19 of those as principal of Mabry, West Chase, Martinez, and is currently principal at Roland Park K-8 Magnet School. Mr. Weaver, if you could please stand. Family and friends as well. Scott, congratulations to our new principal of Adom K-8. Congratulations. Our next principal appointment is Dr. Dustin Robinson. Dr. Robinson, if you could please stand. Where are you at? There you are. Dustin began his teaching career in Hillsborough County as a second grade teacher at Stowers Elementary School in 2011. In 2016, he was appointed as the AP for elementary instruction at Stowers. In 2022, he was appointed as the assistant principal for elementary instruction at Dorothy C. York Innovation Academy. Dr. Robinson, congratulations, the new principal of York K-8, and family and friends, if you could also stand. Congratulations, Dustin, new principal of York K-8. Congratulations. And our final principal appointment this evening is Aaliyah Norman, the new principal of Reddick Elementary. Aaliyah, please stand. And you see all this to my right, there's a lot of our Reddick Elementary staff that are very, very happy that she is the new principal. Aaliyah began her career in Hillsborough County as a fourth grade teacher in 2009. She spent 10 years in the classroom before moving into an ELA coach position and later as a resource teacher. In 2021, she was appointed assistant principal at Rampello K-8, and in 2022, she was appointed as assistant principal at Reddick Elementary. Family and friends of Aaliyah, please stand. There they all are. Congratulations, Aaliyah, new principal of Reddick Elementary. Thank you.
Congratulations, Principal. We will now take a moment to pause for those appointments and their families that would like to exit the boardroom. The following items will now be heard: C503, C303, C701, C702, C1001, C1002, and C1003. 503, the naming the auditorium at Bloomingdale High. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
Thank you, Chair Perez. And for this agenda item, for the naming of the auditorium at Bloomingdale, I would like to call up to the front Dr. Marcos Rodriguez, principal of Bloomingdale, and John Seaver, our supervisor for elementary music. They will highlight this item, the naming of the auditorium for Bev Sutherland, who joined HCPS in 1975 and retired after 26 years in 2011 and returned in 2016 for 3 more years. So for the highlight of this item, I'd like to call Dr. Rodriguez and Mr. Seaver up to the front, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Marcos Rodriguez, and I have the honor of being the principal of Bloomingdale Senior High School. Before we talk briefly about this item, we do have Ms. Sutherland's from her family members here and some of our staff that came here today as well to show their support. So if I can please just have them stand so we can acknowledge them as well. Thank you. So as you've heard today, we've had a lot of support for this agenda item over the last few months. I did prepare just a brief description here for all of you. So I stand before you this afternoon to share the outpouring of support and gratitude that we have received during these last few months as we worked on the process to rename our fine arts facilities the Sutherland Hall for Performing Arts. I had the privilege of reading each of the recommendation letters that were sent in from previous students, colleagues, families, and community businesses in our area. There was a common pattern among the language in each of these letters. Most used the same 4 words when describing Bev Sutherland. Those words were motivation, dedication, love, and inspiration. Her dedication to her craft and to mentoring other music educators in the area made a difference in the lives of many of our students across Hillsborough County. She motivated her students and other colleagues across this county to be the best version of themselves, was showing what many called was tough love. She truly was an inspiration to those whose lives she touched, so much so that we had over 1,600 signatures on our petition within the first 48 hours. Lastly, I knew Ms. Sutherland for just a short time while I was the APA at Bloomingdale. From our conversations in the receiving area to my time in the Fine Arts Hall, one thing was clear. She loved her family. She loved our school, she loved our students, and she had a clear passion for music education. I look forward to working with her family, our alumni base, our community, and our current Bloomingdale Fine Arts students and staff to unveil the Sutherland Hall for Performing Arts in the fall.
Hi, and thank you for doing this. All of the things that you've heard are true, obviously, but I'm going to tell you just a little bit about Bev. I know that Sheikh Washington taught with her at King High School just a few years ago. Bev taught throughout Hillsborough County at various schools, and I can't even tell you how many they were, but she found her home at Bloomingdale High School. I took the job as the high school band director at Bloomingdale in 2004 when Ted Hope left Bloomingdale High School to become the music supervisor. And at that time, Bev was given a pretty lucrative offer to go over to Newsom High School for 2 years. And although when I met her, she was the reason I got the job at Bloomingdale, as soon as she told me she was leaving, I was really kind of torn. And then 2 years later, it worked out to where she missed Bloomingdale and Bloomingdale missed her. And because of a very, very good APC at the time by the name of Sue Burkett, we made sure that we got her back. That began the dream team for me at Bloomingdale High School for many, many years. And Bev and I, we had a lot of laughs. One that I will always remember, she and I were just fanatics about motorcycles, and she didn't have enough room in her garage to store the motorcycle at the time, and we might have found a place at Bloomingdale High School to keep it. And our APA at the time, by the name of Danielle Shotwell, brought both of us into her office and told us that the fire chief had a issue with the combustible engine in the paint room. So we had often conversations with our administration about things like that. Bev was a fantastic musician. She was a clarinet major, but she ended up being one of the most amazing choral people I've ever met. She was such a good musician, but she was terrible with technology. And she would tell her parents that her and Ed, and that would be Edsby, our grading system, were divorced. And therefore, she always found somebody that would sit with her and do all of her grades, but it wasn't until the last minute until they were due. She was the epitome of tough love. And she cared about the entire student and their well-being well beyond the walls of our music department. Traveling with her throughout Hillsborough County was like traveling with a celebrity. And then we started every 4 years, we started taking the Bloomingdale Music Department internationally to Europe. We went to London, we went to Rome together, we went to Prague in Austria. We literally experienced history with those kids and a lifetime of memories. But one of the things that I'll always remember is when we were there in the summer looking at the facilities that we were going to be staying in, somebody was running toward us in London and they were screaming Miss Sutherland's name in London. And it was one of her kids and one of their families that saw her from afar and chased her down. And I thought, wow, you are world famous. And then that very same trip when we were going through Homeland Security in Charlotte, we were walking by and the officer kept looking at her and I said, hey, what did you do? And we finally got up and she says, I know you. And Bev was like, no, you don't. But then all of a sudden we found out that this Homeland Security officer was from Bloomingdale High School and Bev was her orchestra teacher in Charlotte. And it was just one of those things I was like, I am traveling with a celebrity. The dream team that I started with, it was just an amazing time for me. And Bev was the lucky charm for music supervisors because she taught with John Acosta, she taught with Ted Hope, and she taught with me. So she's the lucky charm. And the future of Bloomingdale High School's dream team is sitting back there. And I guess I can say as a music supervisor is you better be the dream team because now you're going to have Mother Suv always looking over you. So thank you for the opportunity in giving her just infamy by naming that auditorium after her. Thank you.
I need a motion and a second to approve the Bloomingdale High School auditorium. I have a motion by Member Gray and a second by Member Washington. Member Rendon, you pulled this item. Oh, there you are, over there. Do you have a question or comment?
I do have a comment, and so I'm going to try to get through this. This was sent from my daughter. I would like to first thank the school board for giving the opportunity for us to honor Miss Sutherland. For many students, including myself, she is more than just a teacher. She was someone who you could talk to at school, who was always willing to listen. My 3 years at Bloomingdale High School would not have been the same without her support. Miss Sutherland also made music fun. Class with her was always enjoyable, and I learned so much from her. She truly embodied what it meant to be a teacher and a resource for the students, and I cannot think of anyone whose legacy should be remembered in this way. Her impact on Bloomingdale was widespread, and I hope the school board allows us to honor her legacy. That was from my daughter, Emily, who had Miss Sutherland for 3 years. Miss Sutherland graced us with coming back after a bout of cancer because students were number one to her. She gave up what precious time she had left to be there for every single student every single day. And I, for one, as a parent, am eternally grateful. So thank you.
Thank you, Member Rendon. Member Gray?
Yes, I'm addressing this comment, actually be plural, to the family that is sitting in front of me and us as a board and as a superintendent of our Hillsborough County Public School, our district, wonderful principal Rodriguez and John Severs. Recognizably, when we have a dedication such for the auditorium or library, it comes with a lot of love and admiration for what your mom was all about, but the price that she has given to the community, to the parents, to the students, is without measure. And I just am thrilled that this is coming forth, and very proud of what you have done to stand in her legacy as well. Thank you for recognizing this, and board, thank you as well. These are, let's say, happy moments. Thank you.
Thank you,
Member Gray.
Member Vaughn.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Last board meeting, we were able to name a school after Mr. Adom, and my fellow board member, Dr. Hahn, said it was always such an honor to be able to name something after someone else, and to hear the stories. And while I didn't know Mrs. Sutherland, to hear just the stories tonight about how loved she was have moved me to tears. Just hearing all the stories and seeing the passion from people I know well about how much she cared for children, how she gave tough love, how she worked so well with her peers, how she was world famous. So it is always such an honor to sit up here and to be able to hear these stories about great educators in our district that have sacrificed their entire lives and get them to Hillsborough County Public Schools. And it's such an honor to be able to honor them back by, at the very least, naming an auditorium for her, especially since music was so important to her from everything that I hear. So to have a music hall and an auditorium where for years to come, people can perform and make music and her name will be on it. So I hope that's the smallest amount of tribute we can give back for a lifelong service to our school district. So thank you.
Thank you, Member Vaughn. Member Washington?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I had the privilege of working with Beth. What a great educator. What a great person. I got a story to tell. We always, because the driver's ed department and the music department was in the back of the school, and that's where kids like to skip. And so one day, I don't know, something happened, and I saw Beth running after somebody. It was like two kids running. So when she started running, of course, Macalusa and I, we started running to catch the kids. We stopped at the end of the campus. Beth went all the way across the street to the gas station and caught the kids. She kept running because she was all about discipline and she was all about kids doing right. And do you know she controlled that back lot by herself? She didn't need any help. And the kids loved her to death, because she always had a passion for students, but they loved her because they know she was tough. And boy, didn't she do a great job in music. She was one of the best people. She was one of the best. She was excellent, great person. And it's a yes for me. I couldn't go no other way. And thank you all for doing that, for a great person.
Thank you, Member Washington. Please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. Congratulations. .303, request for proposals, RFP 23192, DST TG Title I, Equitable Services for Private Schools. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
Thank you, Chair Perez. Title I Equitable Services for private schools allows HCPS to utilize a third-party provider, Catapult Learning, to provide services to participating private schools according to the Every Student Succeeds Act 1117. HCPS works with Catapult Learning to offset the challenges associated with hiring 50-plus Florida certified teachers and guidance counselors, providing services at roughly 60 private schools, and the administrative costs of running the program. Catapult Learning earned the last 5-year contract RFP in 2021. An increase in Title I funding triggered a federal finance requirement to increase the equitable share to private schools. The old RFP had a $4 million cap, and this year's private school equitable share is $5,215,185. To prevent reissuing an RFP before the contract expires, the limit is not to exceed $7 million to ensure the allocation in any roll forward would not exceed the RFP cap.
I need a motion and a second to approve item C303. I have a motion by Member Washington and a second by Member Gray. Member Combs, pull this item. Do you have a question or comment?
Yes, thank you, Member Press. I do have my background, and I no longer have my tutoring center open. I want to say that, but I have had educational centers for many years, for almost 20 years throughout the state and also in the state of Florida. And thank you, Tracy Brown, for sharing your information. My big concern with this is I think this is a great item, but why are there not multiple choices for the private schools? I feel that would ensure that you would have lower prices. We talk about parent choice. Well, let's talk about parent choice in the private school and being able to choose from multiple providers. It concerns me that it's just one provider, because I feel if that we had multiple providers, it would not only lower the prices, but it would ensure that there would be quality and there would be competition. So for me, I don't understand why we only have one vendor, and why are there not choices for multiple choices, and can we engage with the private schools to see if they would like to have more than one choice and what that would look like?
Thank you, Ms. Combs. Yes, we do consult with the private schools, and it was their decision to consolidate the funds so that they would have more buying power. They not only address tutoring services, but they also address parent engagement and professional development. We put out an RFP, and there were 4 vendors that actually responded to the RFP, and we had a committee that voted on that. But that's with the understanding from the private schools that the consolidation will help them have more buying power, as opposed to each individual school receiving the funds for the students that they have. So this is something that we don't do in isolation. We absolutely engage the private schools to make this decision.
Okay, thank you. I will concur that I'm going to vote against this, because to me it looks like a monopoly. It looks like one provider is getting all that money, and I think if you gave choices of a private school to maybe have 2 or 3, or I'd like to see that survey or that feedback, because I did talk to one of the private schools and they felt like if they had more options it would be better. So I do think that having multiple options would draw the prices lower, give students more options, and also it would make sure that we had competition. So I can't support this item tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Combs. Member Rendon?
Thank you so much. I do have a couple questions. You mentioned that we had a committee that voted on this. Were there private schools included in that committee?
Private schools were not included in the committee. We did have a representative from the district that works closely, that's a liaison with the private schools. The consultation occurs with not only Title I, but it also occurs with other of our federal programs as well. And at that time, during the consultation, private schools are given the opportunity to determine how they want to receive this support.
My next question is, at this time, we have such a shortage of staff working with our students. And so where my concern comes in is I don't have any facts behind the deliverance of this vendor, particularly being able to deliver all of the needs for all of our private schools in our entire area. That's where I have a concern, because we've not been given any of those deliverables on whether or not are they making the mark? Are they able to provide all that's needed? I see a lot of times where many of our private schools just do within, or they have outside vendors coming in because maybe a student has that service outside instead of utilizing this as a resource. So one, are we sure that they've able to been staffing the needs? And 2, are they able to, are we, for every student that receives it, are they receiving it through this contract?
So for Title I, the way it works with private schools, the dollars follow the student. So that means if you have a private school that has 2 Title I kids, students that qualify for Title I funds, that means they will get what is the equivalent of approximately $700 per student. So that's about $1,400. And so the desire here is to make sure that they get the tutoring services that they need. And so thus far, we've not had any concerns or complaints that have been reported to the district around not being able to meet those needs. So that is something that we do because we have the liaison out of the Title I office that works very closely with our private schools. There has not been a report of a delay in service or a concern about not being able to meet the needs.
How many students do we actually have that are taking advantage, they're actually utilizing this vendor?
I can't tell you how many students right now that we have that are utilizing this, but I can tell you that it's any student that is zoned for a school that is deemed Title I, that attends a private school, the funds follow that student. So at this moment, I can't give you that specific number, but I can get it to you.
Okay, and then we don't know if this vendor is actually meeting the needs. We just haven't had any complaints.
So we do an evaluation, and that evaluation lets us know that the needs are being met. I can share that data with you.
I'm sorry, you said what?
So whenever we have a vendor that is funded out of Title I, like Catapult, we do an evaluation that determines, that gives us information about the success of the program or of the support that's provided. And so I can provide you that documentation.
Do we provide it, or is the private schools part of that?
Do we provide?
Well, you said there's an evaluation. I mean, are the private schools part of the evaluation, or is it just the district?
No. It is absolutely the private schools and the services that they are supposed to receive and whether or not they receive them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Member Rendon. Member Gray.
Yeah, these are interesting questions that are being asked, Ms. Brown, because I actually was going to pull this. And the reason is because we've been dealing, as you know, with Catapult for every year, and I also am not completely educated on their success or not success. So when you say, and when the question was asked about evaluation data, I have to think, since we've been using them many, many years, why do we not have at least some type of data by now to indicate their success or non-success? And I think right now, in the spirit of competition, if we're still using the same folks, that I'm not real comfortable, and that's why I actually almost pulled it, but almost is as good as a mile. Can you go ahead and address why don't we have the data that really gives us a home run and says, yes, we need to vote for that?
So first of all, this is an RFP, and we don't make this decision randomly. This is a decision that we're made through a committee. We put out the RFP asking for them to respond to what the needs are of our private schools. They responded, and we simply voted on that. I did not include that information, and I apologize for that, but I will get it to you.
Interestingly, the committee is made up of the title in your office. 4 of them are part of the federal program's Title I, and there's one from procurement. I would have liked to see diversity within the committee evaluation team. And if it's the same folks under one roof, then how are we really getting a let's just say, a fair evaluation? This is not to question the authenticity of this particular RFP, but it gives me enough pause to not really want to go forward with this particular one at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Gray. Member Vaughn.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, from my understanding, this is a pass-through of sorts, correct?
These are funds that we are required to give to our private schools and to serve students in our private schools. It's called the equitable share. Yes.
Okay. I'm just surprised because I've never seen so much concern about a pass-through before. The other question that I had is you had indicated that the private schools had made this choice. But then I hear, we have our own committees. So And then member Combs brought up the point that she thought one school was not in agreement with this. So how do we get their feedback collectively to say that the private schools as a whole have made this decision? Do they have an internal survey? Do they come to us individually? Like, I guess my question is, what are we using to gauge that?
So we do a consultation, and they do vote on whether or not, they indicate whether or not they want to work through Catapult. Yes, ma'am, that's how we do that.
And is that in person?
The survey is a written survey, but we do an in-person consultation.
And then do you know the percentage? I mean, was it like, were there a lot of, or were out of, all of them, was there a percentage that did not agree with this?
So I apologize. I don't have that information. I didn't anticipate because we talked about this at agenda review, and so I apologize.
Okay.
I will get the additional information for everyone, but I don't have it on hand right now.
And just to clarify, because again, I've never seen this kind of discussion about a pass-through of money going through somewhere else. If this agenda item failed, what does that mean for the private schools and this?
It means they don't receive services because we won't have a contract with them. We will go up to the amount that is in the current RFP, but we still will have a responsibility to give them the additional dollars. So they will receive services until those funds are expended, and once they are expended, then they won't receive the services. This is money that they are entitled to. We are required by law to give it to them. They have elected to use it this way, to consolidate the funds so that they can have greater buying power for not only tutoring, but for also professional development as well as parent engagement.
Thank you.
Thank you, Member Vaughn. Member Combs?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that I absolutely know that the private schools should have that. I just think when we talk about parent choice and we talk about competition, I actually had a question about this last year as well. During my agenda review, I asked about that because I am very familiar with different private tutoring companies, and I do think that if you had competition, then the private schools could be able to choose 2 or 3 choices, and that would be better for the private schools and better for the families. I am concerned on getting that feedback. As I said, I talked to a private school that felt that they didn't have much choices, and that every year that choice is being made for them. And so that's why it's not something new. I talked about it last year, and I also had a concern about it last year. And this year, the concern continues. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Member Combs. Member Hunt?
Opposite side. Jeez, we're all backwards over here. What I'm really hearing from my colleagues is not so much their concern with the quality of the tutoring service. It's the process and the way it is chosen. And I am concerned. One, let me just point out that if the concern is the buy-in from the schools, I think Ms. Brown was very clear that the private schools voiced their opinion, and they wanted one provider for whatever reasons. Maybe they've done multiple providers, maybe it didn't work, and maybe I don't know, but obviously overwhelmingly, maybe there were 1 or 2 or 3 outliers, but overwhelmingly they wanted one provider, and that's why we went down this route. If we had heard that they overwhelmingly wanted multiple options, I trust the integrity of your department in thinking that then they would have gone down that route. So I'm not so concerned about the process, given that this is what they wanted. It's really, we may want something different, but the people that are using the services wanted one provider for the most part. I'm not saying there aren't outliers. And then in regard to the timing, if this is postponed this evening, what does that mean for the children in these schools receiving their services?
So we are approved for up to $4 million. They will have over $1 million that they won't be able to access because we won't have included it in our RFP. We'd have to go out for an additional RFP just for the $1 million. So that would be a new process, and it would be very similar. I mean, if we want to look at it differently, we'd have to go back to our private schools to consult with them again about whether or not they'd want to continue the same way or go out for another RFP.
Yeah, which takes 90 plus days.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, and again, I don't think there's an issue here with the schools being unhappy with this for the most part. So I'm not, I feel like we're doing our due diligence and providing them what they want. I also think that they've also evaluated this company and they seem to be satisfied with it. So, I'm going to defer to what the schools are requesting and support this because I do feel like it's a company that they've been happy with. They want one provider. Your committee worked with, I'm positive, the utmost integrity in the selection process. So thank you.
And if I could just jump in and just to clarify with Ms. Brown. So the Catapult 5-year contract was approved in 2021. The only reason you even seeing this agenda item today is because the total equitable share for private schools went above the $4 million cap. So I just wanted to bring some clarity there that this was approved in 2021 with Catapult as the sole provider. The only reason this item is even here is because now the equitable share to private schools went over that cap and we're requesting an extension of that cap.
Thank you, Member Hahn. Member Gray.
And that clarity is very important. But the point is, never put the board, please, into a situation where we can't make future negotiations. In other words, we have to do this vote. I would prefer, as a individual board member, to not have that as a position. And Superintendent Ayers, I totally understand what you're saying. It's already been a done deal. But the remark that we can't, change our lanes, I feel like, golly, that I'm trapped as I have to make sure I vote for it. So I don't feel comfortable in that position. I think, Ms. Brown?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I want to be clear. There is $4 million is approved. It's the additional dollar, the additional $1 million, I'm not sure exactly, but a little over $1 million that we have to get approval for. They do have the $4 million. We can use up to the $4 million. But the additional $1 million that they are entitled to, we have to determine how those dollars will be used. And that would require us to get approval. And that's why I'm here tonight with this particular item.
Thank you, Member Gray. Member Washington?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So that clarification was real good because I was thinking about the contract. So we signed the contract for how many more years?
So in 2021, it was 5 years for up to $4 million. But the equitable share from private schools went above that $4 million cap to $5.1 million, which then brings forward that other million that goes above the $4 million, hence the agenda item this evening.
Okay, so it's not about the contract. It's about the million going over.
Correct. They've earned more money.
Earned more money.
Correct. So now we've got the sole provider for Catapult up to $4 million. Well, now I've got an equitable share of $5 million. So and I've got that $1 million that's hanging out there. So the request on this agenda item is to have this current one include from 4 now up to 7. Is basically to become just like it was in 2021, instead of $4 million up to $7 million because of their equitable share. But the RFP was approved in 2021 for Catapult as a sole provider. The only reason we're here is because that item went above, their equitable share went to $5 million. The cap on that original RFP was $4 million.
Okay, thank you, sir. That's clear.
Thank you, Member Washington. I just would like to find out, how long has Catapult had a contract with us? When did we first?
It's been a while. I know it's been at least 10, 14 years.
It's been probably close to 15 years that we've been working with Catapult.
Okay. And no survey has been brought to this board?
We've never brought a survey to the board. We function as a liaison with the private schools. We are required by law to consult with them. There are a lot of compliance rules that we must follow with the law, with these federal dollars, in order for us to be in compliance with, so that we can receive these funds. So we've never brought forward a survey. We've never brought forward student data, student results. We don't usually, our responsibility is to give them access to the supports. Our responsibility is not to monitor the necessary outcomes, other than giving them the opportunity to give us feedback as to whether or not it's working.
So when you bring different RFPs or different companies, do they have the opportunity to see what the other companies offer before they select Catapult again, or do they select it themselves?
What the private schools do is tell us what the services that they want. They wanted tutoring for their kids. They want professional development for their teachers. And they want parent engagement for their families. They tell us what they want, and then in the RFP, that is what the vendors actually provide us information on how they're going to support our private schools in those three areas. The committee that voted is primarily from the Title I office, because this is primarily, actually all of it's run by the Title I office. And this is a practice that we've had in place for several years. That doesn't mean that it cannot change, but is a practice that we've had in several years, and it's been successful. So based on the feedback that I'm receiving from the board tonight, clearly I need to go back and take a look again and talk to not only my team, but as well the private schools, to find out if they'd like for us to take a different approach when we have to go out for our next RFP. So that is what I'll do.
Because I'm looking, in 15 years, things might have changed. There might have been other, companies, or, in 15 years, processes different, change.
That is why we do the RFP, to give other companies the opportunity to bid, to submit a proposal as to how they will actually administer the services. There were 4 that completed the process, and there were 4 that were reviewed. I shared those proposals with Member Combs. I can share those same proposals and the tabulation with the other board members. I will tell you that it was not a close vote, that Catapult seemed to, based on the vote, get more points, far more points than the other 3 vendors.
Member Combs?
Thank you. And I just wanted to conclude to say, I'd like to see a larger committee. I see the committees all coming from, almost all of them, from one Title I office. That, I'd like to see multiple people on the committee to have multiple perspectives. As I said, my concern that it's a monopoly. It really is. And I'd like to see a survey that asks the private schools, would they like to have multiple choices instead of one? So it was a concern when it came last time, and I spoke to, superintendent, and I think I spoke to you about Catapult maybe a year ago, and this continues to be a concern for me, to not see that. I'd like to see the private schools, what the survey looked like. Would you like multiple choices? And could that bring down the cost and allow people to have more hours? Private school students have more hours, because now when you have one provider, they basically can tell you what the cost is, what they're charging. They can charge different programs, parent outreach. They're basically, there's no competition there, and that's very important. And it also limits parent choices. So, I've said that several times, and I'm going to stand with that. Thank you.
And thank you, Chair Combs-Soroka. And I appreciate the conversation and the feedback. We'll take this back with this particular agenda item, with the RFP approved in 2021 for 5 years, up to $4 million. These agenda items are mine. So the survey is coming back. For me, this was not a new RFP, because we had already approved this back in 2021. It just went from $4 million to $5 million because of the equitable, the money that we had to flow through to private schools. So I appreciate this conversation, and I'll make sure that, any information that the board needs, we'll make sure you have that. But this particular agenda item, in 2021, the RFP was done for 5 years at $4 million. This is just the additional $1 million that those dollars that they received. For me, it wasn't about the survey to prove to whether Catapult was worthy or we needed more provider, because it was already approved in 2021.
Okay.
Thank you. Please vote when you lights up here. And we have the motion passes with 5 voting yes, and 2 voting no. And we have a time certain at 6 o'clock, so we have about 5 minutes for that time certain. We're going to go.
We can move to 701.
Yeah. So we're going to move to item 701, piggyback agreement, 23139, PGB LG for first student. Superintendent will highlight this item.
Thank you, Chair Perez. So currently, Ever-Driven supplements the district transportation program using SUVs, wheelchair-accessible vans, and sedans to assist in transporting McKinney-Vento ESC special needs and out-of-district students. Supplementing bus service with small capacity vehicles allows the district to not pay for unused capacity and is able to quickly expand to accommodate the requirements of these student populations. Ideally, HCPS will be using 2 suppliers for alternative transportation services for our special needs students. By using First Students Alternative Transportation Program and Ever-Driven, we'll be able to add additional resources to support the district needs, providing for greater flexibility in services as well as introducing competitive pricing.
I need a motion and a second to approve item C701. I have a motion by Member Rendon and a second by Member Hahn. Member Hahn, you pulled this item. Do you have any questions or comments?
It's on the right. No, thank you. I had my questions answered by staff. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. We will now go to this time certain employee comment. We will now take employee comment. Even though we hear public comment at the beginning of the meeting, it is sometimes difficult for employees of our district to attend the meetings at 4 p.m. There are many ways for employees to make their voices heard, including through union representatives, emails, phone calls, one-on-one conversations, and public comment at the beginning of the meeting. The board wants to hear from you. With this section of our agenda, we are creating another avenue for employees to speak to the board. We are setting aside 30 minutes for employees of the district to speak to the board about any issues that are on your mind. It is not intended to be a discussion about specific agenda items on tonight's agenda, but rather an opportunity for you to speak to the board about any issues related to your job or the district. Each speaker will have 3 minutes. I will now call the first speaker.
First and the last, I believe, tonight.
Okay, yes.
Good evening, everyone. Rob Creed, CTA. Congratulations, Chair Perez and Member Vaughn, on the voting tonight. Thank you so much for what you guys are doing. Thank you, Dr. Hahn, for reading the American Education Week proclamation. It's an important week to think about because it's really about it takes a village to get this work done, including our board members, including our staff, including our superintendent. And we're doing a great job here in Hillsborough County, although I know that sometimes it just doesn't feel that way. Remember, the work moves at a glacial pace, but together, through collaboration and communication, we could actually move this district in the direction it needs to go and do the progressive things that we know that together we can do. Around that, let's not forget our support professionals that we celebrate this week too. The bus drivers, the lunchroom workers, the classroom aides, the teacher assistants, the paras. I hope I'm not missing anyone. I mean, it truly does take a village. They're doing so many different things for us all the time, and they're the backbone of the great things and the services that we're bringing to students. So we celebrate them, we thank them, and we thank all of you as well. Have a happy Thanksgiving, stay safe, and we'll see you after the break.
Thank you. Now, item 10, that closes employee comment. Now, item 1001, increase expenditures for piggyback, enterprise resource planning system, information technology. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
If we could go back.
Oh, 702. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Chair Perez. Thank you. So 702 is agenda item for purchasing of 100 replacement school buses. And as you recall, the district adopted and implemented a 15-year plan to replace the aging bus fleet in a manner that would keep the safety of our students and staff as top priority and manage this capital investment efficiently. The district will see a savings of approximately $1.5 to $2.2 million if we place our new order now rather than waiting for next year, as vendor prices are set to increase approximately 10 to 15% on December 31st, 2023. Bus orders are taking an average of 12 months to fill due to supply chain and demand issues. This order will secure our placement to receive our buses during the 2025 school year. Newer buses will continue to lower the district's carbon footprint with newer and cleaner engine technology and help with the reduction in repair costs on older buses that come from our general fund. Having the new stop arm and safety features on the newer buses provide a safer environment for our students. The district is continuing to pursue grants for electric buses through EPA with the bipartisan infrastructure bill. Only 3 counties in Florida were awarded 30 buses. As of today, ACPS applied for the second round for 20 electric buses. We will also apply for the EPA's bus rebate grant in January 2024. The savings from ordering buses prior to December 31st could be utilized to help offset the tremendous increased costs of electric bus charging infrastructure. We are very hopeful that we will be awarded and will continue to move the district fleet to incorporate electric buses to serve our students and our district. So that is item 702. And Laura Hill, our general manager for transportation, is here as well. And I'm here if we have any questions regarding 702. Thank you.
Thank you. I need a motion and a second to approve item 702. I have a motion by Member Vaughn and a second by Member Gray. Member Rendon and Member Vaughn, you pulled this item. Do you have any questions or comments?
Thank you. I appreciate you highlighting the details of this item because honestly, one of the reasons I pulled it, aside from the electric bus update, which, you know, we always want an opportunity when we're purchasing more buses to give that to the public, is I did have some people question this item and say, if you're struggling so much with bus drivers, why are you spending so much money on new buses? And so I wanted to give this as an opportunity to kind of address that. I think people are always very confused about our budget as well and don't understand why we're not able to necessarily use certain categoricals to pay for salaries. But for some people in the public, it does seem that we're spending all this money on new buses and we're struggling with bus drivers. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to explain that.
Absolutely. So the bus purchase puts newer vehicles on the road to serve our kids. We also have shortages of mechanics as well. So the newer the buses are, the more the buses are under warranty. They don't have to be worked on by our mechanics. We have enough bus drivers to sustain a 100 bus purchase. So it just puts a newer fleet on the road to serve our kids.
Okay, thank you. Did you want to add anything to that, Superintendent Ayers?
This is, I can remember for years, and some of our board members have been on this board for a while, when our bus fleet was, out of date. That was a conversation about, the older buses that we had on the road. And this was a board initiative many years ago to kind of start this process of replacing our older school buses. So this is a very, very positive agenda item that our students, our 90,000 students that ride school buses every day, that were always up to date in replacing that old fleet. And then the older buses, those will be then sold off, correct, Laura? So any of our buses, so once those are replaced, the 100, the ones that they replace are then?
They're sold to auction, yes, sir. So the newer buses that are purchased are also going to be part of the replacement plan. So the supply and chain demand is all held back far. So if we order our buses now, we'll be sure to get them in the 2025 school year. So that's part of why you're seeing it tonight too, as well as the increase in savings by ordering them before December 31st.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm glad that you highlighted that because I think that's important to talk about buying now, what a savings that we can get. I had one last question. Are there any additional safety features that are more prevalent in the newer models are there seatbelts? Are there anything that makes these buses more safe than the ones we're retiring?
Well, of course, they have all the newest technology on them as far as engine functions and all the safety cameras. Everything's newer equipment, so everything comes newer, yes. It would be safer than an older bus, yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Member Vaughn. Member Rendon?
Thank you so much. And I as well want to make sure that we highlighted this issue because it does become confusing when we're replacing that. I also understand that with newer buses will become less costs for repairs, which come directly out of our general revenue fund. And I think that's critically important for everyone to know that that general revenue fund is so critical for our staff. And so not being able and having to pull those repairs on an ongoing basis are going to have more money in that side pocket. So again, like Member Vaughn, I wanted to highlight some of these issues so that we have on the record that we are aware and there's a reason behind what we're doing and how we're doing it. So thank you so very much.
Thank you, Member Rendon. I'm just curious, I understand about the electrical buses, but will any of these, I know we have some propane buses, are any of these going to be anywhere with propane at all?
No, ma'am, none of these are propane buses. They are more efficient, yes.
Thank you. Please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. Thank you. Now we're going to go to 10.1. Increase in the expenditures for piggyback 22004 PG Enterprise Resource Planning System Information Technology. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
Thank you, Chair Perez. So we have two agenda items coming up next. We have 10:01 now, and then we'll move on to 10:03. Some of the conversation may get blended together as they're all related to our Enterprise Resource Planning System, our ERP system. So 10:01, this is the increase in expenditures. This is an increase in services from Infor to support the final push to bring the new ERP online. And increase is needed to pay for resources brought to bear by Infor through the go live in January, and that go live is January 8th of 2024. The services include project management, functional and technical consultants, along with solutions architects. This is an additional expenditure of $400. Item 10:01 now, and then 10:03 with consultants later. It's to that final push just to get it through. So January 8th, something we've been dealing with since 2017, where we've been patchworking a system. This is our new ERP system. So this is a big deal for this district to finally move forward with our new ERP planning system. So that is agenda item 10:01, and then 10:03 is still with the ERP, just with the consultant part.
Thank you, Superintendent. I need a motion and a second to approve item C 10:01. I have a motion by Member Gray and a second by Member Combs. Member Gray, Member Rendon, and Member Combs pulled this item. Do you have a question or comment? Member Gray?
Well, this is hallelujah. Finally, we're getting, we're finally finishing this final implementation of the Lawson, and we're talking payroll here and how the district is run. So I don't know if Dr. Weeks wants to say anything. You may want to say a few things because there is a cost on this, and I think you're probably going to have a celebration as well when this finally gets passed.
We will celebrate once this is finished. So one of the things that I did want to point out to the board is that while this has been going on for 5 years, that's not completely out of the norm when it comes to implementing a system this large. One of the other things that I wanted to point out is the overall expenditure that we have related to this project, when compared to many of our peers, we have expended quite a few dollars less than what even some of our smaller peers have spent on upgrading their ERP systems. While this is something that we have gone back to the board multiple times for, it was because when this was originally pushed, it was pushed in a specific manner to try to get it done as frugally as possible because of the financial situation the district was under back in the 2017 timeframe. We have made some changes to how we're moving forward with the ERP, which subsequently cost additional dollars and changes to contract. So it's only natural that we do this. The other thing is, from an extension of the overall time frame and how we've spent the money and expending Infor, this is something that the Infor Corporation, they provide us with critical functional resources in order to get this as the final push. So we're making all the major milestones at this point to make sure that we're going to hit the January 8th deadline. So I'm pretty confident that we're going to be there.
You know, Dr. Weeks, I also really appreciate you gave us an attachment today comparing and showing that you did your due diligence in comparing and saving from Duval. I'm not going to read all the figures because the board members have it. Miami-Dade, and, well, you have the School District of Philadelphia. But indeed, you know, the price point that you're giving us, or Hillsborough County Public School District, is quite substantial in savings, relatively speaking. So I want to thank you for the important data, and thank you for bringing this forward.
Thank you, Member Gray. Member Rendon?
Yes, Mr. Weeks. You know, I'm not as gracious as Ms. Gray. At the end of the day, when I started this job a year ago, I said you get one chance. You get your vendors to do what they need to do, and you get one chance. This was not going to be a bottomless money pit. Although we are cheaper than other districts, we purchased this product over 5 years ago. We have now spent $6.1 or more million to implement it. I do not understand why we continue to pour money into vendors and additional vendors without having them meet the contract. When we provide them a contract, we say they need to do it within this time frame. Then I don't care if they're here on Saturdays. I don't care if they're here on Sundays. I don't care what it takes. They should be meeting the contract so we get it done. It was supposed to be spring break. Then it was going to be August the 20th. It has been pushed back and pushed back. I will no longer spend one more dollar on this. I expect our vendors to have done their jobs and have gotten us through the threshold. And if they've not done their jobs, then they should have taken the money we've paid them, which is millions of dollars, and finished the job. If it took it longer, they should be finishing the job. So I will not support this, and I will not approve one more dime for this project. That goes for item number 1001 and 1003.
And if I may, I would just like to say that from your perspective, I agree. This is something that we've come back to, the well for a couple times. However, this is not something that is completely on the vendors. Our employees are involved in this process throughout. From the implementation, initial concept, and we also have day jobs that these people are doing. So they are spending considerable hours doing their day jobs, and then they're spending considerable hours doing project work. So this is a significant push on our internal resources as well. So it might not have been all of the vendors not meeting our expectations or the contract. A lot of this fell upon district.
Okay. I am not going to put the blame on whether this has been pushed through or not on any district staff, because we should have planned that the district staff would have to work those hours, or they would have worked a 40-hour week, and the contract should have been set from the beginning when we created it with the vendor. We all knew what a district staff workload was. We knew how many hours the district staff would work. So for us to say it's their fault, not going to happen. At the end of the day, when that contract was built with that vendor, we should have accommodated and we should have created the contract knowing the hours district staff worked, knowing the hours it was going to take. So once again, I am not supporting any more money going into this project.
Thank you, Member Rendon. Member Combs?
Thank you. I also think it would have been better if you overestimated instead of underestimate and then continually come to us. When you see schools, like I spoke to you today about that you can't even get Wi-Fi at that school right now, and then you're going to push something through, where there's not even Wi-Fi working at a couple schools. So I will have to support this because I know this is the last push, but I am not happy with the process. I'm not happy that you continually come back more and more for money. You should have overestimated, and it's always better to overestimate and promise something and and then you do it better, right? So instead, like every time we turn around, I feel like there's so much funding and so much money coming here. And it is frustrating. I think it's frustrating for everyone as a board. And, you know, I have to speak to my constituents. And when I go back and I'm like, it's going to happen on this day. It's going to happen on this day. Now we're paying more and it still hasn't happened. So I'm going to support it because I know this is the last process, but I'm not happy with the entire process or how this has been done in the last year. We used a lot of our ESSER money, and we used a lot of our funding, and it should have been over projected from the beginning. You should not have under projected. It's very frustrating. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Combs. Member Vaughn.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I've been frustrated with a lot of this as well, but this is very separate from the computer purchase that we've used our ESSER monies for. And I appreciate you giving me the history when we talked about this agenda item. It gave me a lot of clarity on the financial position the board was in when they originally made this decision and how much money we wanted to allot on it compared to now, thanks to some smart decisions that we've made and the ability to allot more towards it. I did appreciate, and I didn't get the paper, but how you shared other counties with me, how much they've spent on this, how much that looks like. So I think it was really important to have all of that history, because without it, I can completely understand my fellow board members' frustration, combined with a lot of the computer purchases that we did spend ESSER money on. Because there's been so many upgrades, it seems like we spent a tremendous amount of our budget on technology. So I understand the frustration, but I do appreciate that phone call that we had in understanding the history of this, and how we made certain decisions before, and now, you know, we have the flexibility to make better decisions to make sure that our technology is as best as we can make it during this process. So I just want to say thanks for taking that time. That really helped me with that history on that. Thank you.
And I just wanted to add, I just appreciate the board members' feedback as we've gone through this process over the last 5 or 6 years, and we will always try and get better in what we do. ERPs, I just want to remember, we are the largest employer in Hillsborough County, so all of our payroll, all of our HR systems, getting a new ERP system, which we had to do, costs money. On our end, we'll try to do a better job of how we communicate what that overall end cost is. But this is something we're almost at that finish line, and we'll all be to celebrate on January 8th when we finally go live and have the old 5 or 6 years of what we've been dealing with a patchwork system, that we've got a new system that we have for our school district. So this will be a good day on January 8th when we come back from break.
Thank you, Superintendent Ayers, and thank you, Member Vaughn. Member Gray?
Yeah, I'm reminded that the ESSER 1, 2, and 3, a large part of it was for technology. And I know how behind we were. And I know that we fast-forwarded a lot of the computer technology work very quickly. Be it right or wrong, this district was extremely behind and archaic. And the monies that were afforded to us in many districts for technology, we, as a board, hope that it was spent correctly and frugally, and all the adjectives that match that, or adverbs, excuse me. But there's plenty of room, Dr. Weeks, for criticism, and there was a lot of money. We know that the need is huge, and Superintendent Ayers, you know that we had a lot of money real quick. We addressed it to technology as we were supposed to. And there's room for error. There's no question. And room for, and Member Combs, room for improvement going forward. So I do hope that you take these remarks and do as best as you can to be proactive. How much money do we have left on the ESSER? The ESSER 3, we have 83 million, or was it ESSER? For ESSER 2, we have 83 million, and then ESSER 3, how much money do we have left?
About
100.
I want to say 300, 200,000. I don't have the exact number with me.
Okay.
It ends September of 2024.
Right. And Dr. Weeks, how much of that money will we be using for technology, or have we line itemed it yet?
So we had $103 roughly $1 million allocated for technology out of the ESSER 3 funds. Out of that, we've spent a significant portion, and we will have spent before the September 24 deadline as much of that as possible. You know, I'm not one who wants to leave money on the table, especially when it doesn't cost the district anything. We are looking at using the technology wisely. We've brought a lot of technology in front of the board to approve, especially for our classrooms. We know that there's always room for improvement, and we will take any criticism that comes our way and use that constructively in order to make sure that we're better at what we do.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Weeks.
Thank you, Member Gray. Please vote when your lights appear. And the motion passes with Member Rendon voting no. The next item is 1003, agreement number 1, agreement for technical services. Pardon me?
Yep. Yeah, so 1003 is our next item. Okay. So 1003 is a continuation of this new ERP system. As I mentioned earlier, 1003, this is the consulting firm that's been hired to continue program management, staff augmentation, and basically liaison functionality to assist in completing the Infor Cloud Suite implementation. Third stage would provide consultants to HR, finance, and project administration. The engagement would take us through that Grow Live date I talked about earlier, January 8th, 2024 and beyond for post-go live support. So that is agenda item 1003, which is follows 1001, which has to do with our ERP system. This is the consulting firm that is the liaison between us and the Infor system. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent. I need a motion and a second to approve item C1003. I have a motion by Member Gray and a second by Member Combs. Member Gray, Member Rendon, and Member Combs, we pulled this item. Do you have a question or a comment? Member Gray? Who's?
Go ahead. Member Rendon, go ahead.
Member Rendon.
You know, I've spoken on my piece on this item as well, but I do want to clarify. None of these two items have anything to do with the purchase of technology through our ESSER dollars. These pieces are 100% about the computer system that we are utilizing that is running our district, that is doing our finance, that's doing our HR, it's doing our personnel. It's working as a function of our district. Our ESSER dollars and our technology is not what I voted no on. It does not have anything to do with anything regarding this system. This system was purchased over 5 years ago, and all the money that has been spent over the $6.1 million is not about the purchase of the system, but it's the implementation we've had to delay in implementing it. So that is what I'm voting no on, that I am asking our district to require our vendors that we've already paid millions of dollars to complete the job without giving them more. Thank you.
And if I could just reiterate, so thank you, Ms. Renner, for clarifying. This is the software that helps this district run the business. All of our finance and HR processes run through this Infor system. ESSER expenses, this is not something that was an allowable expense through ESSER. This is about the business of this school district, both human resources and finance. So thank you, Ms. Brennan, for clarifying.
And Ms. Brennan, if I can clarify, yes, you are correct. It wasn't ESSER dollars. This is coming out of general fund, but since this is related to the implementation of an enterprise-wide system, this will be reimbursable with capital dollars.
Thank you, Member Rendon. Member Gray?
Actually, Dr. Weeks, as I was just going to say, explain, because we realize that the money is going to go back to capital funds, but can you expand on how that's going to occur and when?
So I will actually let Ms. Garcia speak to that, because it's the finance team that actually does that.
It actually either will be a transfer to the general fund, depending on the objects, or we will transfer the expenditures to the capital fund. And it happens usually at the end of the year when we have all the expenses.
Okay. Okay. Well, I thank you for that explanation. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Gray. Member Combs?
I just have one question. So if this didn't pass today, what would occur in our district? What would happen?
We would be basically stuck with our existing system, which is 2 years out of date and not able to be maintained by the vendor. They have been moving forward in providing us support and maintenance because they are the same company that we're working with. So Infor and Lawson are the same company, just different products at this point. So for us, we would be facing a crisis when it comes to our ability to move forward as a district, as a business entity. And the worst part of that would be, not paying our employees, not paying our bills, and it would be something that we wouldn't be able to avoid down the line.
Okay, thank you.
Please vote when you see your lights. And it passes with Member Rending dissenting on the vote. The next item is 1002, Final Site Mass Communication Tool, and Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
Thank you, Chair Perez. So everyone knows this 1002, and it's our last agenda item this evening. This is Parent Link. So I know a lot of you as parents, when you get your weekly phone calls from our school principals that all have access to Parent Link, given those weekly updates, that is all utilizing our Parent Link system. Schools can send out phone call messages, emails, or text messages. Just as a number, in the past 30 days, there have been 2,654 messages sent via Parent Link from district and schools. Individual school delivery rates range depending on whether the message is an email, text, or phone call. All of our districts, our system that we utilize, we use Parent Link as well. Principals, of course, as you know, use Parent Link to send their weekly communication, lock-in information about upcoming school events, etc. Also, our communications team uses Parent Link to send the biweekly newsletter, district-wide events, boundary info information, and weather-related issues. So it is our mass communication tool that we've utilized over the last 10 years, and this purchase price is $175,457. That's item 1002.
I need a motion and a second to approve item C 1002. I have a motion by Member Combs and a second by Member Washington. Member Rendon, you pulled this item. Do you have a question or a comment?
Yes, thank you so much. One of the most important things is communication, making sure our families know what's going on, making sure we're updated with what's going on. Even when we were here today, I got a Parent Link. So it's kind of ironic, but it just all of a sudden started ringing. Rosac is calling, and I know it's not any of you because you're here, but this is a key game changer when it comes to technology and our communication with our parents. And so I wanted to highlight the fact that I think this is a excellent program that we're running through the district. I think it's something that we keep up with. I also want to compliment our administrative staff at all of our schools because they do their due diligence to make sure the information in the systems are accurate for parents so that parents are getting the information. And I think that's critically important that we give them the credit for going out of their way to making sure that they have all the correct information for each parent, for each student, so that that information does get to them. So thank you to all the administrative staff at all of our schools for making sure that our student records are kept up to date. So Parent Link works as it should. It is critically important. And again, thank you for maintaining this because communication is key, especially now. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Rendon. Please vote when your light appears. And it passes unanimously. Now we will move on to superintendent comments. Mr. Superintendent Ayers.
Thank you, Chair Perez. So this is my superintendent's update for this evening. We'll start off with Here Comes the Bus. Our transportation department is now implementing phase 2 of our Here Comes the Bus rollout. Students should be or have already received an RFID, ridership ID card that will allow a parent to be notified when their child gets on and off the bus. All bus riders will receive a card. This measure has been put into place to increase the safety of students. Parents will know that their child is on the right bus in the morning and got off at the right bus stop in the afternoon. Also, our superintendent's update are divided about our strategic plan, around our strategic plan priorities. I go and look for some of that supports our organizational culture. And this one I want to highlight here. They told me about it just this afternoon, but look at the picture that's there. So this is a prime example of Hillsborough Strong. A huge thank you to all of the band directors who recently came out to support Hillsborough High School's marching band for a rehearsathon. So Hillsborough High School did not have a band director. So when I talk about Hillsborough Strong, what happened here is we had several band directors from around our district, and I'm going to name them now, that came out to support Hillsborough High School to get him ready for their band competition. And that was Jay Deeden from Ben Hill, Kensha Johnston from Jefferson, Stephen Lilling from Jennings, Marcus Rudd from Wharton, John Collins from Shields, Rebecca Mahuse from Farnell, Aaron Cabrera from Leto, Christopher Gines Klein from Martinez, Coral Navarre from Leonard, and Lisa Bushnicki, which is one of our secondary music DRTs. So, to support Hillsborough High School, that was the number of district staff, but also other directors, band directors that came out to support the Hillsborough High School band. So yeah, how about that? That's pretty cool. You talk about Hillsborough Strong. There's a shining example within our music team. Here's a good one. So this was Broward Elementary. So from Broward Elementary, it was their school's Dress Like a Character Spirit Day. So second grader Jamie Mention decided to dress like one of his favorite people on campus, Officer Mike. Isn't that cool? Staff members at the school say Jamie was so excited and couldn't wait to show Officer Mike his outfit. Aww. Thank you to Officer Mike and all of our school resource officers for their impact and commitment to keeping our students safe. Very cool at Broward Elementary. This was last night, actually, at Adams Middle School. They helped their families prepare for the holidays by providing them with free groceries for the holidays. With the money they received from a grant, Adams worked with Publix and Carrollwood to purchase over $30,000 worth of items. They used their early release Monday to be Hillsborough Strong and to support the health of their community. There's Miss Vaughn. So way to go, Caroline. Hunters Green fourth grade student Caroline Faust was recently recognized for the work she accomplished during last year's STEM Fair project. Her project was titled the Foot Protector, which is a shoe insert that protects an athlete's foot when stepped on. Our K-5 district science coach Laura Dunn shared Caroline's project with NASA seamstress Jean Wright. She was inspired by Caroline's work and signed a copy of her newly released book and sent a personalized message naming Caroline an honorary NASA sister. So Purple Star Schools of Distinction, and board members, you remember as part of your delegation last, I think it's been two years ago, we were the district that kind of pushed this Purple Star. So during National Veterans and Military's Family Month, we are proud to congratulate 12 of our schools that were recently named 2023 Purple Star Schools of Distinction by the Florida Department of Education. We now have 21 Purple Star Schools of Distinction around the district. We'll actually honor them during our December 5th recognition meeting. So to note, there was only 73 across the entire state of Florida. We had 12 of them right here in this district. And this just goes to show this district for a long time. I've been out at MacDill. Dr. Hahn has supported, been on that MacDill Council for Educational Excellence. But you talk about districts that support their military families. There's no district like Hillsborough County that supports our military families. And the proof is in the numbers when we've got now of the 73 in the district, 12 of them are right here in Hillsborough County. And we'll bring them to that December 5th recognition meeting. But thank you, Dr. Hahn. It means a lot as a board member. I know you're there. And Mr. Murillo, where's Marcos at? There he is. He's there at every meeting as well. Dr. Hahn and Marcos at every MacDill Council meeting with the base commander there, and any improvements that we can make in our process to ensure we support all of our military families. So that was a huge honor for us. The Great American Teach-In is Thursday. Who's going? I figured y'all be going. So that is this Thursday. I'll actually be at Tampa Heights in the morning. I'm still trying to figure out. I have to talk to 66 fifth graders. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for 66 fifth graders. Bring some dollar bills. That would be. I'm not doing that. So that is this Thursday. So I know we'll have a lot of our board members that will be out. But this is a great day. Our Great American Teach-In, long tradition in Hillsborough County for what we do for our teach-in. So we've already kind of mentioned our Hillsborough Strong. What makes us Hillsborough Strong is our commitment to one another and how we lead and treat one another. So I've got some slides to cover. So this is actually a pretty important update that I have for you. So on the board suspended agenda is literacy update. So in just a moment, you can see I have our whole team is there, our academic services team. So we have our FAST, our PM1 data. So to kind of see where we are right now, this board's priority, my priority is around literacy across all grade levels, is improving our reading proficiency across the board. So we're going to talk a little bit some numbers today to see where we are through PM1. If we remember, there's 3 assessment windows. So all of our schools have completed PM1, which is that first initial. So before I say too much, I'm going to turn this over to our Chief Academic Officer, Colleen Fossett.
Thank you, Superintendent Ayers, and good evening, board members, and thank you for the opportunity to give this update. And I know you appreciated us not doing it at the midnight meeting as well. So let's start with our data from our elementary students. At the start of each school year, teachers conduct assessments to gauge current performance of elementary students who have been away from the traditional classroom during the summer. Hillsborough County introduced the Dibbles assessment this year. This optional assessment is administered up to 3 times a year, focusing on measuring literacy skill acquisition. The data obtained from Dibbles helps teachers plan early instructional support to proactively address potential reading difficulties. The chart I'm showing illustrates a high percentage of students in our earliest grades being tested using Dibbles. Statistically, students performing at or above the benchmark on this diagnostic tool have an 80 to 90% chance. Fidelity is ensuring that teachers have the appropriate professional learning to support that implementation. 86% of our teachers participated in UFly and Dibbles course offerings this past summer. As the school year started, we continued that learning in 2 specific areas: a focus on how to use the information gathered during a Dibbles administration to support students, and the fidelity of implementation of our new UFly phonics program. Moving into our FAST assessment, the Florida Assessment of Student Thinking, commonly referred to as FAST, is the state's adaptive assessment that measures proficiency in the new BEST standards, which went into full implementation last school year across ELA and math in grades 3 through 10. 22-23 was a baseline year for FAST. This progress monitoring assessment is given 3 times a year. PM1 and 2 are for information only. The data provided at the conclusion of each window is specifically used by teachers to drive instruction and acceleration. Our work is the planning and implementation of strong Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 instruction and strategies that enable students to perform on or above grade level on PM3. PM3 is our target. Let's look where our children are currently performing after PM1. So this chart is small, but I'm going to just kind of walk you through a little bit and then I'll go into more detail. So when looking at this chart, a reminder that each of the Progress Monitoring Administration's measures end of the year on grade level expectations. This table reflects PM1 proficiency levels from the Fall 22 PM1 test administration compared to the Fall 23 test administration. To correctly understand this data, look at the numbers. The first slide summarizes the data for all students in the district, and I've added a column to the far right which reflects the difference calculated between our student performance this year and last year. Any difference that reflects more children performing at that end of the year expectation during the PM1 window is highlighted in green. Go back. Thank you. If you look across the 8 grade levels that are assessed, 6 of them have positive performance when we have this year compared to last year's students. If you take a look at the purple diagonal arrow, which links the 5th grade PM1 data from last year to the 6th grade PM1 data from this year, you'll see an increase of 10 percentage points. When we look at student data down a diagonal, we're tracking cohorts of students. It's just another interesting way of looking at the data. I'm going to go back to that first slide and now pull out the Hispanic student data. And keep in mind, Hispanic students make up 38% of our enrollment. Just like with the previous slide, this table shows the comparative performance data of our Hispanic students. And as you can see, across 8 grade levels, 7 groups are performing higher than last year's group, with grade 5 maintaining. A shout out to the 4th and 6th grade cohorts for moving the needle from where they were performing last year at this time. There are many others that also moved the needle, but I'm shouting those 2 out right now. The next slide shows our white students, who make up 30% of our enrollment. For the 8 grade levels reflected in this table, half of the grades, 6th, 7th, 9th, and 10th, show students this year performing equal to or higher than students last year. Another big kudos to our 4th and our 9th grade cohorts. When you look down the diagonal, you can see that we see 7% growth from those 3rd graders last year to where they're performing at the beginning of the year this year, and 4% growth in our 9th graders moving to 10th grade as well from where they were last year at this time. The next slide details the progress of our black students, who make up 21% of our student enrollment. This is something to celebrate. As you can see here, across all grade levels, 3 through 10, our black students this year are performing higher than our black students last year in this first window. Click. There you go. Thank you. Don't forget to look down that diagonal, and I have to point this out because all I can say is wow. Amazing achievement from our students. That 4th grade cohort, 16 percentage points difference from where they started last year. That 10th grade cohort, 7 percentage points. Slide 11 shows the progress of our students with disabilities. 15% of the students in Hillsborough County are identified in this group. This group as well, across all grade levels 3 through 10, are showing stronger performance on this first measure compared to where they were last year. Once again, I am so pleased with the progress. Once again, look at that 6th grade cohort, 10 percentage points higher than where they started last year. Our English language learners are up next. It's important to pause for a moment before we actually look at that ELL learner data to remember which students are included in this subgroup. Any student classified as LY is in this group, and this slide details the different descriptors of the different classifications. Identified students range from our non-English speaking students to those that understand and speak English but still write and read in English with varying degrees of proficiency. Once students meet grade level expectations, they are exited from this LY classification and simultaneously removed from this group. Currently, ELL students make up 11% of our student population, and let's look at their data. The data shows that more of our LY students in 6 of the 8 grade levels assessed by the FAST are at that on-grade level end of the year expectation compared to last year. And 5 grade level cohorts made significant gains from where they were at the beginning of last year. Our true goal is to work closely with our ELL students within structures developed to provide this research-based targeted support they need for language acquisition and mastery of grade level content and standards. So the natural question after reviewing this data for my team was, what are we going to do next? We have partnered with the state of Florida because we recognize the need for additional support in coaching and professional learning for adults at our most struggling schools. Hillsborough County currently has 98 RAISE identified elementary schools. In addition to support for teachers, we have support for students with the RAISE High School Tutoring Program. High school students are trained in content knowledge focused on literacy and the science of reading. Currently, we have 50 high school students that provide their own transportation and tutor elementary students across the district. In addition, we have 2 cohorts of high school students at Lato and Plant City High who we transport to neighboring elementary schools to work with our K through students during their school day. And finally, we have the New Worlds Book Initiative, which provides free books for our elementary students. In addition, Hillsborough County also recognizes the need to provide differentiated support specifically for our ELL students and their teachers. For our teachers, we focus on support in 3 different areas. Elevation is an online professional learning tool that prepares educators to support multilingual learners in the classroom. Our ESOL endorsement courses ensure that all of our instructional staff are equipped with the basic foundational skills to teach our ELL learners, and our monthly professional learning sessions are to support our staff that work closest to our students on a daily basis. For students, Imagine Learning is an amazing program that provides native language supports in 16 different languages for students in K through 5. This program is designed to address unfinished learning and promote the use of academic vocabulary. Children are immersed in an adaptive environment that builds on student strengths and fades out that native language support as a child's English skills grow stronger. We also offer out-of-school time camps to extend the learning. Given that we are in our 2nd year of implementation of the BEST standards, we have a strong focus from academic services on our core instruction. For those students needing additional intervention, our focus is to quickly identify the student needs, plan and implement small group instruction, and ensure student achievement is monitored closely. Academic Services works collaboratively with region superintendents on a weekly basis to discuss the needs of their individual schools and layer in the appropriate supports. Moving on to our high school students, at the beginning of this school year, 70% of our 13,548 seniors had already met the reading benchmark for graduation. Juniors and seniors still working towards that goal are enrolled in specialized courses and have multiple opportunities throughout the year to show reading mastery at the expected level. In September, our juniors and seniors took the FAST and the FSA fall retakes. In October, our seniors sat for the SAT and the ACT. In October, Armwood and Chamberlain piloted the new assessment allowed by legislation, the Classic Learning Test. Because this is a new assessment for our students, Academic Services worked to develop a boot camp style prep for our students, and we've seen a 20% success rate for students meeting the reading benchmark and a whopping 76% success rate for our students meeting the math benchmark. The more we learn about the assessment, the better we can target support for our students. While my presentation this afternoon is specifically focused on the beginning of year diagnostic data and a 30,000-foot overview of things happening to move the needle, some interesting data was made available from the recent Council of Great City Schools conference. I added it to the presentation this afternoon to ensure that we do recognize the great work happening every day in our classrooms from kindergarten on up. The results on this slide can't happen without a focus on every student every day. The Council of Great City Schools has 52 member districts from across the nation, and Hillsborough County Public Schools is listed in the best quartile of overall students that took more than one AP course, Hispanic male students that took more than one AP course, Hispanic female students that took more than one AP course, students with disabilities that took more than one AP course, ELL students that scored a level 3 or higher on AP exams, Hispanic male students, the increase in the 4-year graduation cohort rate, Hispanic female students increase in their 4-year graduation cohort rate, students with disabilities an increase in the 4-year graduation cohort rate, and our ELL students an increase in their 4-year graduation cohort rate. We have much to celebrate in Hillsborough County, and I want to make sure I thank our students, our families, our communities, and our teachers who work together every day for the betterment of students in this county. My team is here this evening and available to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Colleen. So that was our suspended agenda update on literacy. I know it was a long update, but we did have some that was scheduled for the meeting that was the record breaker, so we didn't have much of the update there. So I do apologize that that was a lengthy update. But as we look at our strategic plan, and we talk a lot at this board around our strong organizational culture, fiscal and operational responsibility, and exceptional talent. That is the foundation for what you all will ultimately judge me on, which is academic excellence. That's up there, that is ultimately what I'm judged on, assuming that foundation is set. So we've spent a lot of time setting that foundation. I think, Ms. Vaughn, you had mentioned in a meeting one or two back, just about, hey, let's get to talking about some of the data. So, we can continue this conversation. We'll, of course, take any questions you guys have. The team is here. But if, this is the conversations we need to be having as a team of how we can move this district, where it needs to be and to be number one in the state. Thank you.
Now we will move into board comments. Board members, just a reminder, you have 5 minutes each to speak with 30 seconds for final thoughts. Member Vaughn?
Thank you very much. First, in regards to the data around the literacy update, thank you so much for that. This is a great starting place to have conversations, and this is very thorough, and I really appreciate it. Some comments that I want to give back about this specifically is I am a bit concerned that we have so much DIBELS participation, and yet the assessment isn't showing more engagement, especially in like our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. I am concerned that we're still relying heavily on iReady, and I know at the couple board meetings previously we talked about phasing out that program, and some of the concerns has always been the transition to something new and the fact that we're not using this year to get more engagement on the DIBELS, if that's going to be the replacement, is something that I'd love to see a little more engagement around, especially since there's so much training. I will say I've gotten great feedback on UFly. Especially last night, I was in an event with a high ELL population, and they were specifically talking about how that's supporting their ELL learners so much, and how much that is a game changer, not just for our students when it comes to phonics and reading, but also for that our ELL population. So that was really good feedback, and in general, I'm getting really great feedback around that. One thing I would want to mention to my fellow board members as we craft our legislative platform for next year is that they only have the 2 years before they start being held to the standardized testing, and that language acquisition is shown to take 5 years, and that we're really doing a disservice expecting in 2 years our ELL population to be able to test on level. So that's a conversation I think as board members we should have talk about when we go about our legislative platform, about giving a little more grace when it comes to our ELL learners. But I think this is great data to start with. I look forward to having a lot of conversation around it, because I think some of these numbers, although we're doing improvement almost across the board, I think it's a good wake up call that we really need to make sure we're focusing on phonics and early education, because I think that we have a lot of room for improvement when it comes to this. But thank you so much for all of your hard work and for presenting this. I know that ate up a lot of my time, so I'll try to pivot quickly. Thank you to my fellow board members tonight for supporting me for vice chair. I just want to say I really appreciate it. Unanimous vote means that I feel like you guys have confidence in my ability to do this job, and I really appreciate it. So thank you so much for your support. Also, I just want to say that I love the STEM things that I've been going to lately. We had the STEM Olympics, or the Science Olympics, which were amazing, and I enjoyed that so much. And the great thing was, it wasn't just the students competing. All the parents were talking about science in the audience. Oh, that was 2 inches too short, and they should have built it this way. And hearing how it actually engaged the parents in science conversations as well was so great. I've been going to a lot of STEM nights at all of my schools, and they're fantastic. The stations they have set up. We had a great one at Turner Bartow. I went to one last night at Temple Terrace Elementary, and the community engagement and the excitement around that, and the students just learning so much about science right there, hands-on with all the stations, it's just, every one of them is a great event. So I really appreciate what's been happening when it comes to science and STEM in our district. Super excited about the Great American Teach-In. I'm going to, I think, 7 or 8 schools, so I'm excited about that. That's always fun. And as we kind of enter into this season where we're going to have a break, and for people who celebrate Thanksgiving, I always like an opportunity to be thankful and grateful. And I'm just so appreciative and grateful for everybody in our district, all of our educators, all of our support staff who choose to stay in Hillsborough County and support our students every single day, and for the work that everybody does. I just want to say that, when I sit down at my table and say the things that I'm grateful for, it's all of the people in the district who work so hard to make these gains and success and support our students. So Happy break. It's been a long time coming. It feels like it's always the biggest stretch to get from the beginning of the year to this first kind of week. So I hope everybody has an opportunity to really recharge and spend time with people that you love and think about what you're grateful for and come back ready to get to work and do great things in our district. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Member Vaughn. Member Gray?
Okay, let me try to speed up here. I want to thank the literacy team for your awesome work, comprehensive, and I'm looking at each of you, and I know that you do work the clock 24/7, so thank you for all the data. I will say, Superintendent Ayers, when you talk about 11% being ELL, I can't help but think that to explore more dual language classes has to be a priority to bring that's a pretty large percentage coming up, and it's not going to get any lower. So at any rate, I just want to say too that we're really paying attention to school safety and just doing a shout out to Senator Danny Burgess, who introduced the School Busing Passing Infractions Bus Patrol America. And we've entered a 5-year partnership with our district to install cameras on 1,100 buses, and we're the first district in Florida to initiate the safety measure. Another shout out too, I was very impressed that Sheriff Chronister joined in along with our Hillsborough County PTA, Superintendent Ayers, all of us were at Dunbar. And it was just a great day. So, again, we're talking about safety, and that's part of the culture of a good, of an excellent school district. Also, that Florida School Music Association, with 27 schools and over 3,000 participants, I want to personally thank John Sievers, thank Tommy Morrill, the principal of Gaither, for hosting it. Also want to put a huge shout out for the band directors who put the love of instrumental music in the hearts and in the minds of our students. That was a great achievement. And again, I think all the board members came as well. Aetna, we want to thank Aetna. They joined with the Mort Community Partnership School and added the first ever bilingual therapist to address anxiety of the students and also depression and other affective domains that have affected our students who have had trauma, domestic or otherwise. Remember, food, insecurity, eyesight, all this is part of the Adult Childhood Experiences, ACE, and having an extra therapist donated $20,000. And I wanted to thank also Dustin Krin. Should be, it might be Krein, I think it's a German last name, but he also helped afford this relationship, this partnership. Then I wanted to go, Pablo, are you ready? I wanted to do a shout out to Brandon High School. This is I have to tell you, the principal of Brandon, and he's amazing. Dr. Klein, right? Dr. Klein. And we have, and Laura there was, and we'll show that later, but Laura, all right, hold on just a second. So we have, all right, that's the front of the school. We redid the whole front, and there's actually a waterfall. I guess I didn't capture that. There's student seating on the other side. I'm looking on the right. But look at this donated, committed to the community painting, and I can't remember who donated it, but they did, a large part of that. But that's when you enter the school, it's beautiful. It's the whole wall, and that's about 16 feet linear. Next slide, Pablo. And then on the left, this is an amazing library. It's sectioned off into different parts of a student's interest. For example, this one with the coloring is about a mood enhancer. In other words, to relax the mood of the students. And then on another part, they have chess games and other avenues where kids like to do strategic games with that. Am I out of time? Oh, phooey. Okay. And then on the right, is the food pantry. Next slide. Look at this clothes pantry. I've never seen anything like it. And by the way, teachers use this as well, because teachers, their pay is not where it needs to be. Chill room, Laura. And I wish I could remember her last name, but she's amazing. She put a chill room for the teachers. This is all her work. Next slide. Maybe there's not one. Okay, that means that I'm done. Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody, teachers and parents and community leaders. We thank you for all your support.
Thank you, Member Gray, Member Combs.
First and foremost, I want to thank this whole literacy team and Elena and everybody here. You guys are amazing. And I tell you, I'm going to go home tonight and look at this. You know what I mean? Because it is probably the most important thing is literacy. And as I've said, if you look at a few years ago when everything was so isolated, it's going to take 2 or 3 years to really see that work being done. But I'm glad to see that you're already moving in the right direction. I look across and I just want to say how much I appreciate each and every one of you and all your hard work with this. Going out to the community, we haven't had a meeting for a while, but I just want to give a shout out to a couple of people. The West Chase community, every year they choose one of the Title I schools. They allow me to work together to choose a Title I school. They do the great West Chase Run, which I walked it. It was a 5K, but they raised $24,000 that will be given to Bellamy Elementary. So I just want to thank the West Chase community for doing that every year and allowing me to partake in helping choose one of those Title I schools. Also, thank you, Superintendent Ayers, for pointing out Hillsborough High School did not have a marching band director, and John Seaver and all those teachers, all those marching band directors came together. And when we saw the MPA at Gaither High School and saw how well Hillsborough High School did, like go Big Red, it was amazing. So I just want to thank them. Also, I just have a couple slides. One of them is, celebrating Veterans Day. A lot of my schools had great events, but Bryant Elementary, every year, they have a Veterans Day breakfast, and there were probably about 40 veterans there, and it was really, really remarkable. And we had a MacDill Air Force individual come in, and we had so many speakers, and it was just amazing. Both my brothers served in the military, so it's really important for us to remember, the importance of celebrating Veterans Day. And then along with that, Pablo, here's Bryant Elementary and Miss Suarez over here, the principal, and you can see there were brownies and the Boy Scouts and Farnell participated and Sickles participated. It was just amazing. It was like the whole school community coming together, and you can see all those students like waving their flags. Pablo, the next couple slides. And then I was able to partake in with the Rotary Club of Tampa, the Flags for Our Heroes, where they recognize veterans, but they also recognize so many community leaders. On that list, they had teachers, they had students. It was really amazing. And this gentleman over here on your left, Rolf Arnheim, was an amazing veteran who fought in 2 tours of the Vietnam, and he is like in his 90s, and he spoke. It was such a powerful presentation. It was just really, really amazing. I also want to do a shout out to our CEO in schools. I participated in that every year. Brian Butler, who did such an amazing job. I was able to spend the day with the amazing Christina Alvarez over at Alexander Elementary, and to see the students and the teachers. And one of my friends who's the CEO in this community participated this year, and she called me the other day and she said, you know what, Nadia, I ended up learning about one-on-ones through the school. So I'm taking that and I'm starting to do that in my own business. So it's really about the CEOs connecting with the schools. It's back and forth. And she was so excited about the growth of that. So I just want to say that that was amazing. And finally, and you can see some more pictures in I always have to go into like a pre-K or kindergarten when I go into a school. So, but all the teachers were amazing and they were so dynamic. And finally, as we go to Thanksgiving, if you know me, that is my absolute favorite holiday because I think it's all about being grateful and gratitude. So I'm going to leave you with this: be kind, be thoughtful, be genuine, but most important, be thankful. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Member Combs. Member Hunt?
Thank you, Member Perez. I appreciate the update, the literacy update tonight. This is a very good overview and start to the school year. And I also recognize that for most grades, we're moving in a positive direction. My concern comes in that even if for PM2 and PM3 we continue to increase, even if it's by the same percentage, which hopefully it'll increase even more each time, we're still not going to hit 50% in any third grade category. I'm looking at third grade specifically because we know that that's a really critical year and predictor of future success, academic success. So yes, can we say, this was hard work? Absolutely. You see it in the numbers, the increases. Do we have a very, very long way to go? Absolutely. We had some of the lowest, if not the lowest, literacy numbers in the state. So we got to we're digging our way out of a big hole. So, I hope you'll bring this back after the PM2 and we see more gains. But boy, I wish that we could really break through that 50% mark. I mean, obviously, I'd love us to make a commitment by a certain year. In third grade, we hit 100%. Like 100% of kids are reading on third grade level. That should be our goal, because once you do that, you're going to see it in fourth grade, you're going to see it in fifth grade, you're going to continue to see it. And I go back to early childhood, as Tracy Brown knows. Those early years are predictors of those third grade reading scores, and we only provide early, those pre-K programs to 12% of the population, and it would take a very long time for us to scale up to where we're providing more than the private sector. So those private-public partnerships are so critical. Working together in communities of practice in those pre-K grades, if we're going to start to move these numbers up, and not find us with scores in third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, up to 12th grade in this situation. And I know you're inheriting this, and I really appreciate how committed you are to literacy as well as early childhood, because early childhood and literacy, I've been championing this since day one on this board. It is my life's work, from what I've studied for my PhD, my master's, my practice. And I am a true believer you have to invest in the beginning if you're going to have those really good results in the end. So I appreciate your commitment to it, and I'll continue to champion the work. And I appreciate all the work you put into this. We have never been presented with such a comprehensive report this early in the school year. Usually it's all the way at the end, right, when we're like, So I see all the hard work your team is putting into this, but our teachers, our reading coaches, our teacher assistants, all putting in the hard work each and every day. And I love, obviously, the Dibbles and the UFly, and I think that we're already seeing the impact that that's having. So I'm expecting great things for sure, but I really, really appreciate this. This really sets the stage for future understanding of what we're doing. So thank you so much for your presentation. Lastly, I just wanted to share some good news. Bern's Steakhouse, they have decided to donate their registration fees, part of those fees, to our Hillsborough County Public Schools culinary programs in the form of mini grants. So if you make a reservation, it's $25, but if you don't cancel it or you no-show, then you surrender that $25. So part of the fees that they collect over the next year, starting in January, will come to our culinary programs for mini grants. So I really want to thank Bern's Steakhouse and the Laxer Family Foundation. I sit on their board for, supporting our schools in this way. They've always supported our culinary programs very quietly. This is the first real public push. So they announced it on their website recently. And so I wanted to share that news tonight because it's already out there in the public. There'll be more to come on how to apply for the grants and when those grants open. And we'll certainly announce that after the new year. So thank you. And have a happy, happy Thanksgiving. I hope everyone has time with their family and their friends, and certainly have a lovely week.
Thank you, Member Hahn. Member Washington?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I also want to, you guys did a great job on this data. This is the type of data we need to get out. I know we have a long ways to go. I can see we have a long ways to go, but let's get out every good point we can with data so people understand how we are progressing. We are moving up. We got a long ways, but we're moving. At the end of the day, it's all about moving. Thank you so much for that. Also, I would like to extend the deepest condolences to Brenda Perry and her family on the passing of a wonderful educator. Her mother's name is Ruth Jackson. Her mother worked decades of dedication to Hillsborough County Public Schools and will never be forgotten, from her time as a graduate from FAMU to being the first-time African-American teacher at Harlem Academy Elementary School, to her retirement in 1984 from Town and Country Elementary School. She touched the lives of so many students and staff and families during her years with the school district. So I would like to extend my condolences to the family. We had a opportunity on Veterans Day, November the 9th. We went to Shihai. It was a great program. They did an excellent job. We had a chance to, Captain Curry was there, Stanley Gray was there, and I was there. We just let the students know the various fields you can go into in the military and still be successful. Because sometimes people think of the military is like, you got to do what people tell you to do. You got to do what people tell you to do anytime if you're not the boss. That's a part of it. So being in the military is a great point to some people because they can help you out, and as well to get scholarships and get degrees and so forth. That's a part of it. So we had a great time. I didn't have my uniform on though. I started with my uniform suit. I normally do, but I didn't. Also, on 11, we had the Veteran Parade, Town and Country, a wonderful parade, one of the best parades. It was really good. We had people lined up. It was hard out there. It was really hard, but it was a great parade. So I think we had a great time, didn't we? And who was the DJ? You were the DJ. I was the DJ. And I went old school on them, James Brown and all them. But we had people dancing on the side, on the road. We had a great time. We really had a good time. It was really, really, really great. We didn't have many people floats as we had before, but it was fun. We had a good time. It's good to see people out having a great time. Also, November the 13th, I had a chance to go over to Plant High School, and we had FAMU to go there, Florida A&M University to go there, to let students know about the various programs we have at Florida A&M. We had about 13, I think, Dr. Hahn, we had about 13, 14 kids came, and they're interested in going to FAMU, and they're giving out scholarships. And I got to give a kudos out to Kim Hellenberg, the principal. She's phenomenal. She did a great job, along with her staff. Also, we had I had the opportunity to go with the 5,000 role models of excellent project at Alonzo, and with Linda Purdue. Those young men are phenomenal. Out of those, we have about maybe 4 underclassmen, and the rest are seniors, and they have a great mindset what they want to do in life, because I was telling them about setting goals. You have to set goals in order to be successful in life, and I gave them an example of when I was growing up, my goals and the things that I had, and sometimes I like to tell students that, because they look at you and they think you've been good all your life, or you had a lot during your life, but sometimes you have to let them know you have to work hard too, because we all got some stories to tell where we came from a hard time in life, and I think that's important for students to understand. And those young men were so attentive. They had great questions. And by the way, I had one of my Kappa brothers there with me. He helps out with Linda Purdue, and Mrs. Purdue is phenomenal. She does a great job at Alonzo. The principal wasn't there, but it didn't make a difference. Because the kids were very attentive. Everybody was real nice at Alonzo. I mean, it was phenomenal. And hopefully we'll be going back. Oh, man, time flies. But anyway, I hope everybody have a happy Thanksgiving and be safe. And hopefully we'll see you after Thanksgiving. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Member Washington. Member Rendon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. One of the things I wasn't going to speak, but then I want to make sure we covered it, was Brandon High School created a war memorial for some of the veterans that graduated from Brandon High School. And it was a tremendous honor to be able to attend it with Member Washington, and I attended it with several staff. There were representatives from World War II, the class of 1941. There was a graduate of 1941 that was there to help unveil the memorial, and they honored 13 graduates from World War II, the Vietnam War, and then the Iraq War. All of them had to be killed while in action, and so it was quite an honor. It was sponsored by Donald Gunn, who runs the ROTC program, and Dr. Klein, the principal. So what an honor to be part of that. Also want to thank all of the individual schools, whether it was a concert program or it was a flag demonstration or whatever. Each and every one of our schools took the time out of each one of their days to honor all of our veterans from across this country. And so each one of our schools, even if we were unable to highlight them here on the dais, thank you, every principal, every staff, and every teacher, because you all individually honored the veterans of our country. And so I personally thank you for that. Also want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. It is a special time of year where we can gather with family and friends. And so I hope you enjoy your week off and come back refreshed, at least for the next couple weeks, till we can do this all over again. Thank you to the literacy team for a wonderful presentation, and all the staff that stay here day in and day out for each and every one of our meetings. We're not up here alone. All of you are always here with us. So that is one thing we are entirely grateful for all the hard work that you guys do day in and day out. Our teachers, our staff, our administrative, our support staff, each and every one of you, day in, day out, are here to support every one of our students. So thank you so very much.
Thank you, Member Rendon. And I too, first I want to echo Member Vaughn's sentiments and appreciate, being voted in as chair. And I vow to do, the job of many other chairs that, carved the path before. And I thank you for, your vote today. Also, are grateful for our families as well in this district, and also our district staff. I know that there are families that struggle, during this time, and, it's the social worker in me, whether that's, my upbringing or that's my schooling. But, remembering that there are families who may not sit at a table to the dinners that we may sit at. I know that my family adopts, and, from a family of 3 and 4, we have sometimes 30 people at my house. Sometimes I don't know who they even are because the kids just invite them. But, just remember those people who are struggling and maybe invite them to sit at your table. And be thankful for the ability to have them over. I know that Saturday, November 18, there's going to be an annual fall festival at NY Mama at the Wholesome Church, and that's from 9 to 2, and they're going to be giving away free turkeys to the first 250 families. But also, Boricuas de Corazon, also in Brandon. If you get on their website, they'll also be giving entire meals out. But you just have to go online and sign up for those meals. Superintendent, this data is fantastic, but I do have a concern about it. As you always know, I'm always going to speak about the underserved and underrepresented that continue. The data shows, although we're moving forward, that the Latino and Black students seem to be lagging behind. But also, when I see the discipline rates increasing with Black and Latino students, and their reading data is also, really far down the percentage. That's concerning to me. So I'm hoping that, as you and I have spoken, that we continue working on, decreasing that discipline rate, keeping those children in the seats, in the schools, where they'll continue to, do better, especially with our students that are in 10th grade. That's concerning to me, because around that time is when our students start dropping out, our students start leaving our schools. And so for me, that's a major concern, and I hope that we'll continue doing good here and progressing, especially for those children. We were in Tallahassee also when Hillsborough County, gets to Tallahassee. We do our ask, and we're not shy about it, and we certainly were not. I appreciate it. All our board members that went, and we did our ask, and we were very dynamic about it in Tallahassee. So I appreciate all the board members and, fighting for funding, fighting for our students and our teachers in Tallahassee, and we'll continue doing that going forward. And seeing no further business, this meeting is now adjourned.
All right.